What up, fam? Hit the like, hit the subscribe. It's time for Eagles Giants. Oh, finally, something to be really excited about. Let's go.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Embarrassed! He's flying.
Welcome in. It's almost time. This is A2D Wednesday. There we go. Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D Radio. Every Wednesday, we are brought to you by FanUp, and FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use our promo code A2D. You get $50 right at sign up, and you can download FanUp on the Apple Store. Go do it. You'll love it. As usual, Frank Vespi, Greg Moakovic, Ralph Del Vecchio, Ryan Brodo, Heel Chrome somewhere, probably stalking us. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, welcome in. Maybe Chrome will join us. You know, maybe he'll dabble.
I heard he will join, but only stick around for 45 minutes.
So, no eating tonight. We'll give our locks of the week later on in the show, and obviously give you our playoff predictions for the divisional round. We'll get into that, and we'll give you the whole slate, and then we'll go locks like we always do. If it's your first time now, you know. Eagles, Giants previews, our main topic in hand. We'll obviously give our offense and defensive players of the game, keys to an Eagles victory, and as always, chance for you to win some money, up to $300 for the playoffs. If you can nail it, you got to nail the score. Nobody's done it. Maybe you can do it. Maybe you can change the game here. Nobody has. I don't think anybody will. And if they have, they just haven't recouped, right? Or collected. They haven't collected. What was that, Greg? Who was it? What was that? Somebody got a freaking mouse in the house? We got a mouse in the house?
Funny.
A mouse in the house? Could be funny, I guess. Eagles Giants preview. Ties into our poll question. Brought to you by Baggio's Bread. They're located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. They're the home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, Italian specialties, their meatballs, their cutlets. What don't they have? Mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. Baggio's Bread, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Go check them out. Tell them we sent you. Our poll question for tonight, a little different. Not just win or lose. I think we're all past that, but maybe we're not. We'll still have to get involved in it. Still have to dabble, because we'll give you our score predictions. So we still got to tell you who's going to win, who's going to lose. It is playoff football. The Eagles' defense is more of a concern than Jalen Hurts' shoulder going into the playoffs. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, download, join the conversation. And like I said, you can just start rattling off score predictions out there. You're the ones who got to screenshot it so you guys can rattle it off. Join the conversation. Screw the Giants. And I completely disagree. I completely disagree that the defense is more of a concern. Like this, let's keep it 100 here. This defense isn't a concern this year like they were the year before. I mean, this defense made plays. They led the league in sacks. Their turnover differential, all the things that they did extremely well throughout the regular season, to me, doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. They've been elite. They have, right? Do they get beat? Everybody gets beat. Have they had games where we scratch our head? Sure. Has our run defense at times maybe let us down, right? A couple times this year? Sure. But I feel like we fixed those things, right? We fixed those things. Okay? Now, I'm not crowning Jonathan Gannon. I'm just going to say his defense has played at an elite level this year in terms of what else around the NFL, right? Everything else defensively around the NFL, not elite like all time, but elite all time. In terms of sacks, right? In terms of sacks, that's elite. That's elite what they did this year. It's elite. So, I don't even think they're a concern at all. Now, not this week. I mean, everything becomes more of a concern as you move forward, right? But not through the playoffs. We asked and they delivered. We talked about being a top 5 defense. We asked for that before the season. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it because of the talent. And they answered that, right? They answered it. And that always does. It's not always the case, guys. You guys know this. You guys watch enough sports. Just because, like, oh, we went out and we made this upgrade and we drafted this guy, doesn't always pan out. Well, it's panned out. It's panned out. So I'm not concerned about that. When you don't know about, I think his shoulder's fine. But the shoulder's going to take you where you need to go at this point. So if that shoulder isn't good to go, then you can just kiss it goodbye then. You know what I mean? You kiss goodbye. That shoulder makes or breaks us, essentially. When you talk about a player playing at an MVP caliber on the other side of the football offensively, and just as important to our defense is getting early leads, to any defense, right? To any defense, early leads. To a defense that has historic sack numbers, early leads really benefit those defenses. So it's taken two to tango all year to help each side of the football out, and we're only going to go as far as the shoulder takes us. And I think the shoulder's fine. So in reality, I could say, I don't, to answer the poll, like, which one is more of a concern? I think the shoulder's fine. But that's the elephant in the room that we don't have the full answer on, right? We don't. We're told that the guy's a superhero, and we're 5 weeks later. So I don't know. I don't know. But I do know about this defense, right? And I do know a healthy Jalen Hurts. We're going where we want to get to, right? And I think he's healthy, so I don't really have a concern, period. Okay? But not this defense. Not because of the players. We're not talking about schemes, etc. Players going to win. So I believe in the guys, and we're getting healthier. And as you advance, you're only supposedly going to even get healthier. Maybe with a guy who probably doesn't get hurt after a week too, and Avonte Maddox, but you at least could maybe get healthier the longer you survive here. And if you start talking Super Bowl, I don't want to go there, but then you got another break in the action, right? And that gets a lot of guys healthy, but no, I'm good. I disagree on it all. I'm not concerned. I'm not freaking concerned. Let's go.
Ralphie, go ahead.
I'll go next.
There you go.
I'm a disagree as well. I just think the way this defense has been playing has been to the point where, we like you said, Tommy, there's been some weeks where we could sit back and relax because the defense has been getting stops and have been getting sacks and getting the interceptions and timely interceptions that we needed as well. But I just think the concern with Jalen is that for me, if it was his non-throwing shoulder, I'm completely cool, right? There's no concern because it's not his throwing shoulder, right? But since it is his throwing shoulder, now it's a little adjustment where can he get the ball, how's his throws going to be now in the playoffs? Because now the cold weather's coming up, and we're all over here. Joints get, tighten up a little bit when the cold weather comes, and your bones start to cripple a little bit.
Well,
but
he's not.
I just think
the right age of 25.
Yeah. I just think if it was his non-throwing shoulder, everybody would be cool, calm, and collective. But since it's his throwing shoulder, it's everybody's a little on the fence and on the seesaw a little bit if he's okay and if he's all right to go. But if he's saying that he's okay and he's ready to go, I mean, obviously we're all going to get behind him. Hopefully he can bring us, to a Super Bowl and get us to the next round on Saturday.
I'll just switch it up because to answer the poll, I'll switch it up. I'll just say I agree, but full transparency, if I came on here bitching and complaining about the defense, and it's funny because I actually looked at this up this morning to both of your points on the defense and how Jonathan Gannon, he pisses us off. There's things that we don't understand. We'll never understand about what he does with his certain players. This is the best Eagles defense since 2001. They came out, throughout the entire regular season, ranked as the number one pass defense in the league. So when you just look at that, it's yeah, he does some things. He likes to drop some linemen back into coverage. He likes to play 15 yards behind the line, back from the line of scrimmage. Sometimes it's not great, but listen, we got the number one seed and we're here for a reason, whether it's talent, whether it's a mixture of talent and the coordinator, any of those things. So I'm not really concerned about either. The biggest thing, and to be honest, it's not a part of the poll question, but if you had to put gun to head, what's the biggest concern? It's whatever's going on with Lane Johnson. I know he's been on interviews saying the injury is actually lesser than what the diagnosis is, but I'm more concerned about that than the quarterback, not because Lane Johnson's more important, even though I think you can say he is, but the Eagles kind of told us all yesterday afternoon, all right, well, you shouldn't be concerned at all about the shoulder because they took him off the injury report. Now, I don't know. He could re-aggravate it in the first handful of plays. Like, you never freaking know with football. But to me, I'll just go based off of like, oh, okay, the Eagles for the first time in weeks, he has no injury designation. He's a full go. I don't have to listen to and try and break code of Nick Sirianni. He's like, oh, he's a superhero. Oh, he's feeling better. It's like, oh, he's just not a part of the injury report. He's fine. Okay. I'll just go based off of how we know what Gannon likes to do at times, and we know what the Giants are going to do. They make it a point when you talk about Jonathan Gannon, it's like his resume is to almost make mediocre quarterbacks look a little bit better than what they are, just based off of what he does. Whether it's, I think it was Heineke, you obviously saw, with Andy Dalton, they go like 14 of 15 on the first drive. That's like the main thing I'm worried about when you talk about just the overall players and not health. It's that Daniel Jones, they're going to go quick. You're going to use screen passes, misdirection. And because Jonathan Gannon, they're going to play the possession game, and maybe that keeps Jalen Hurts in this offense off the field a little bit. But honestly, I'm feeling okay. Like, I'm not going to complain about the defense. I'm not going to complain about the shoulder thing, just based off of the designation. And again, I can't complain about a team that's the best ranked Eagles pass defense since 2001. Like, I can't.
Yeah, and he's not going to sit in there like that either. Like, and if he does, everything's quick. So he's different than like he's better than Andy Dalton, but he's different. Like, Andy's going to sit in there and throw. You know what I mean? He's going to sit in there and throw. So if you allow him like to sit in and throw and give him easy passes, he's going to complete them. You know what I mean? If you make it easy and basic on him, right? So and there's other pocket guys like that we've allowed to get in a little bit of a rhythm. This one's a little different because everything's missed. When you talk about misdirection, when you talk about play action and the things they want to do with him, I think it plays our strengths a little bit in terms of where you're going to let our speed of our defense, play into this. The biggest concern, and it's going to be a different concern every week. The biggest concern, if you want concerns of, is do they let Saquon get going? And that has nothing to do with either. That's just players play. So, are we going to win up front? And we've won up front a lot. So, I'm going to lean towards we're going to win again up front. You know what I mean? And we're going to win again defensively. Like, we're not going to be perfect. They're going to annoy us at some point, but can they be perfect enough to allow us to get a lead? Right? Can they perfect enough throughout these playoffs to play, if we're playing 0-0 ball, to keep it 0-0 ball, right? And I think that's going to be the biggest tell if this defense is considered an elite when we look back on it years from now, or if it's considered, hey, regular season elite.
True.
Right,
no,
Greg?
absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree to the poll. It's only just because but I completely agree with you, Tommy and Ralph. Like, I really have zero concerns about the shoulder. I think Ryan brought it up as, the big point is he's no longer on the injury list, right? So he's probably feeling pretty good. But I have zero concerns about this defense. This defense throughout the year has made the adjustments. I mean, I think we can count on one hand how many second half touchdowns they've given up over the whole year. Right, you know what I mean? So where they might struggle early on, as we talked about, first drives and letting guys get in rhythms, they really do clamp down. And I think, Tommy, it has a lot to do with what you said about playing with the lead, right? Playing with leads, like even if we might go down early, outside of Washington and New Orleans, we went down early and stayed down, right? And even with both of those games, there were times where we still had chances to get back in the game and or win the game. We just didn't do it on those days, right? But the defense clamped down. We were able to do things that we asked them to do, get off the field on third downs, get key turnovers when you need it. I think back at that Saints game, as bad as they were in the first half, that Josiah Scott interception right there before the end of the half was such a huge one because, again, it stopped them from going in and scoring. Right, I think he caught the ball at R40 or 35, somewhere in that range where they were probably going to get at least a field goal, you would have thought, right, if that doesn't happen, which then kind of puts that game even further away from where it already was. So I really don't have any concerns with the defense. I think getting Josh Sweat back is huge. And then getting getting CJ back 2 weeks ago was huge. Putting him back in a position where he's going to be over the top, and bracketing these guys. I think we're going to be back to the middle of the year where our defense was flying around like they should. But so my concern for Jalen Hurts isn't much. You know what I mean? I just,
Yeah, I hope I made that clear as well.
You did. You definitely did. Yeah.
I don't have
I'm
a
not
concern.
concerned, but it's just that's the poll, right? So it's
I gave this a lock of the
where
week
we're
on
at,
Sunday.
yeah.
So I mean, I can't start retracting now. So I don't get, there ain't a concern. I just answering a poll, right?
Yeah.
I disagree then. I mean, if I had you got a gun to my head, I got to go with a shoulder being a worry. He's got to throw it,
especially throwing shoulder, as Ralphie mentioned.
And Lane's, they're both concerns,
Yep.
but Jalen's more than even Lane, in my opinion, because the drop off big for both. But at least having Jalen in this game, you're like, all right, you know what I mean? I still got Jalen, right? But I think they're both tough. They're both, they're both going to get through it. And I don't think this week as a whole is even concerning. Doesn't mean they can't beat you. Doesn't mean you want to let them get off to a fast start, right? Doesn't mean you want to allow those things to happen, because then anything can happen. But if you come out and dominate from start to finish, this game should not be a problem for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, before Frank goes, if it is, I'll fucking empty the house out. Okay, ain't no job safe. You understand? You can't lose this week. You can't lose this week. You understand this? You want to lose NFC Championship game? We'll dissect after that if people should get right. But right now, this week, there ain't no benefit of the doubt. You better win this week. And if Dallas rolls in for an NFC title game, which I could see happening, we'll talk about it later, you better win that one too then. Because it's long off seasons if you don't. Frank?
I mean, for me, I am going to agree to the poll. And this is one of those games, the last couple of weeks on our defense wasn't so great. I mean, we let Andy Dalton play like he was Tom frickin' Brady. We let a lot of bad things happen. I'm not going to say that one particular play that happened on Christmas Eve. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to put that little statement together. But this is one of those games where it's like, this is important. A very historic defense. Third place in sacks all time. A very outstanding turnover margin before guys went down. I mean, you lost a couple key guys on defense. I mean, Avante, we don't know if he's ready to go. He may be back, but it's probably not.
In a boot. It would be awesome if we no, I don't think that would be good.
Played in a boot, and we could use that boot to beat the living daylights out of Daniel Jones with it. But this is a game where
assaulting the quarterback. Okay,
yeah.
Welcome to Philly.
We'll do a little Tanya Harding action.
Oh shit!
But
Tyrod Taylor might beat us. Don't let Tyrod come in and beat us. We've seen that act.
We'll get his doctored.
Oh, Jesus.
But to quote one of my old, but to quote one of my old baseball coaches, no free passes. That's it. No free passes. No stupid penalties. No giving up on the third and longs. And no regression in the play calling. I know we all rag on Jonathan Gannon, some more than others, but all eyes are going to be on this coaching staff. You have to be on point with this play calling. You have to stop the run defense. You have to stop the minimal, whatever wide receivers the Giants have. You got to stop Saquon. You got to stop the receivers. You can't let Daniel Jones run all over the place. But I agree to this poll. So
no, I mean,
I do think we get the job done, but we can't go back to the basics. We got to keep our foot on the gas.
So you agree with Marsh? Yeah, essentially.
We're coming back to it. I'll say
you haven't recovered. You haven't recovered from the 3rd and 30.
I'm over it. I'm over 3rd and 30.
I don't know. I mean, we played a lot of games with a backup quarterback. I don't know how we can be concerned about this day. Like, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not concerned with either. But the defense and Jonathan Gannon's play calling kind of leans a little bit, kind of tilts the needle for me rather than Jalen's shoulder.
Oh, he's an idiot. But at the end of the day, when you just got elite talent, I mean, I'm not gonna call him an idiot because he obviously is part of the reason this defense, right?
Oh,
he's the signal caller. So I mean, I'm not gonna, I think he has his deficiencies, right, at times, but I think he's overall done a good job. I'll give him a really good job.
Stepped up from what?
I'll give him a really good job.
He did a great job.
Talent
making those
improvements.
I
don't know if he stepped
talents.
Up. Yeah.
But either way, like I'm good with him not coming back. Like I'm good. Let's go take a job. I mean, I hope Houston. Yeah, and it's not like, well, you don't know what you have until you lose it. No, because I do. I know what I have. I know what I have, and so does his significant other. So we've had that conversation. So, I mean, where I don't even want to talk about like all that because that could come quick if you don't come to play on Saturday night. But I have no reasons to be concerned about this week, and I don't want to sound like arrogant about it. It's just confidence in what we've watched from this football team all year. Like I understand that there's a tough football team coming into town. I understand it's a division rival, but there's a huge gap between talent of these two football teams. Okay, if this was Dallas coming to town, you can make the argument there isn't as big of a gap as this is. Okay? Huge gap. How do you lose a game like this? Well, I'll give you a couple of ways you can. You get out coached. It's one. Obviously, penalties, turnovers. Your guys just aren't prepared, or they just don't come to play for whatever reason.
Falling asleep.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening to this team in the playoffs. Like we talked about that, right? We talked about it. Doesn't mean they can't turn the football over, etc. But I don't know. Like, am I overconfident this week in terms of like I'm not worried even a little bit.
No, I don't think you are, Tom, because I think a lot of the areas where this game could go wrong are all self-inflicted, right? I think from the Giants standpoint, really the only thing the really only key for me from the Giants standpoint and what we have to necessarily stop, to me, is Daniel Jones's legs. Like, Saquon can run all over us all we want because I think we'll cover their wide receivers. You know what I mean? Or we'll keep them at least in front of us, right? I'm not worried about Saquon. I'm worried about Daniel Jones's legs. And what we did really good in that first game was limit those opportunities. What Minnesota didn't do was limit their opportunities. Yeah, I think he rushed 17 rushes for like 75 yards against Minnesota. Like, that doesn't seem like a stat line that can happen against us. Even if it's a game plan that they want to try and do, I don't think that we allow that to happen.
Guys were roaming. I mean, guys, and again, I'm not taking shots at the Giants wide receivers, but I don't think even Giants fans would say that their wide receiver core with the Kenny Golladay that was even half as advertised or what he has been since he signed there. They're nowhere near as good as what the Vikings made them be last week. I mean, you had guys just roaming throughout the entire field, just wide open. And the biggest difference is the Vikings had, and you saw this is not like rocket science to notice this, it was a historically bad playoff defense. We knew that going in before the game, and we saw that before our very eyes for 4 quarters.
That's the only 2 times. Daniel Jones thrown for 300 3 times this year. I think 2 of them were against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, like I said this on Sunday. It's a different animal here. Yeah. I mean, you're not. You ain't going to Minnesota. I mean, it's a complete football team. So I understand talent. Somebody said, "Well, talent's not the only thing that matters in the playoffs." I get that, but this team's been good all year. It's not like they're just super talented and they've they've worked. They've had so many ups and downs this year. Like, no, they're super talented and it showed all year. Yeah. So it's not like it has not showed. So, to say that, okay, I get it, but it's also a tough football team too. Yeah. So it's not like they're not tough. So, I love when sometimes the underdog comes in and everybody's like, hey, they're tough. They're tough. You gotta watch yourself. Why? They're tough. They're tough. That's cute. That's all good and dandy. But at a certain fucking point, when you're uber talented and well coached and dominant, right? You don't lose those types of football games. That cute season comes to an end. It has to end. There's like Jacksonville's going to Kansas City. At some point, you're going to run up against the big bad wolf, and you don't have enough left because you're not ready yet. You're just not ready as a team, and it's fine. You're just not ready. You overachieved, and overachieving is awesome. And that's why you see Giants fans like house money, because it's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are. I mean, Giants are playing with house money. I mean, it's like house money, man. By the way, to Greg's thing about Daniel Jones running 17 rushes last week for Jones, 78 yards total on the ground for Daniel Jones last week.
And I'm pretty sure I gotta pull this back up. I had it somewhere. In my
leading
phone.
Rusher, by the way, for the Giants last week.
Ralphie, check Twitter because I saw some kind of stat where it was like Daniel Jones in the first half had more rushing yards than like Eli, and we all know Eli Manning didn't move the ball. Like he didn't run at all. Like he didn't walk more than 5 feet. But like he ran more in one half than I think Eli Manning did like in his entire like playoff carear or something. In like one freaking half.
That doesn't shock me.
Yeah, and again, like Eli, he might have had 5 total yards total in his playoff career, running the ball or moving or walking, whatever you want to call his movement. But no, to everybody's point, and this is coming from somebody myself, like I think at some point, whether it's the second or third quarter, it might get a little weird, right? Like it might be like, oh my God, the Giants are in this game, or oh my God, it's tied. There might be some WTFs flying, in some households watching the game, because that's what a playoff game that happens sometimes, right? Like we saw the Bills and the Dolphins game. Like the Dolphins
see Seattle, San Fran. Seattle had the lead at half.
Yes, exactly. And so, and this is the first freaking
you're like, oh my God, we stink. We stink. San Fran.
Here comes Kyle Shanahan again.
Yeah.
We stink. I knew Brock Purdy was going to run out for
Where's
him.
Trey Lance at?
Yeah. And then boom.
They're bringing back Jimmy. Get Jimmy on the 4-year contract right now, one leg or not. Like, absolutely. So I think it's going to get weird, right? Like, I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. But with that being said, like, you have no business losing this football game unless you hand it to them like you did with the Saints and you did to the Commanders. Right. Like, you have no ends with a backup quarterback or not with the Cowboys. And that's not taking anything away from the Saints in that game and the Cowboys and the Commanders, because they took advantage of it. It took some of the teams a couple extra times. It's like, oh, no, you can have this game because we still hung around in games that we had no business winning. But if you come out on the L column in this game, everything we saw this season was a lie. And just speaking for me, I think regardless of the age or anything, I think this goes down as one of the best, if not the best, Eagles regular seasons of our lifetimes. The point is, if you come out and you lay an egg, or it doesn't matter what the score is, if you lose this week, none of it freaking matters, and it's all a lie. And I don't expect that to happen. I really truly don't.
I'm telling you, it's the longest off season of all time. They lose this week. A couple people chiming in. I don't. First off, Marcus, that's not true. He said it's very difficult to beat a team.
San Fran just did it last week.
3 times in a season. It's like 26. It's like 26-14 in like that. And like is that stat? So I don't know. That's not true. I mean, I know a lot of people have said that. I get it. But it may be if the two teams are equal, right? If the two teams are equal and the one team got them twice, then you're like, oh shit. Right? Like if we got Dallas twice and you're playing for a third time, and not saying Dallas is equal to us, but they're closer, right?
Yeah,
then you're saying, uh-oh, I don't know how this looks. We're so much better. Like we got to get out of our own way sometimes as a fan base. I mean, Marcus is not an Eagles fan, but and Marcus, your other comment, you can stop when you said Cowboys. Like how you guys you beat the Giants 2 times in 2007 and they beat you in the playoffs. You can just stop with Cowboys, because anything they do in the playoffs doesn't matter. It's been proven. So I mean, it doesn't have any relevance. But I don't care about that that comment. Like it ends at Cowboys. Like sure, it's happened, but that 2007 Giants team was a damn good one.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're acting like this. We're acting like this one. Let's not compare this one to that one. right? Or any other Giants team that had an Eli Manning. Like, let's not compare the two, right?
Didn't they win the Super Bowl in 07?
Yeah, they beat the Pats.
Historic defense. Historic defense. Yeah, like this is a solid defense, right? Like they have some pieces. They're getting healthy, right? Like I like there's some players on there, but I think Giants fans would even say like this isn't the 07 defense. And again with a Hall of Famer in Eli Manning or a borderline Hall of Famer.
It was 5 weeks ago. They got 48 put on their ass. So I mean, I don't know what people. Like I said, get out of your way, people. Anybody out there that doesn't have a ton of confidence going into this week. And usually I'd be the one to tell you, like, be careful. This ain't the week to be careful because there's so much at stake. Not only the lies that could be proven this year to be all a lie, right? Like we talked about, but you might have to fire some people. I mean, this is a fireable loss this week. There's no excuses because of the talent and how your year's gone, and it's also a division rival. Be careful not being ready to play this game because that's the only way you lose. It's the only way you lose. So to me, that's why my confidence is an all-time high because I believe it's a lock. I believe that we beat them. And if we don't, I'm that shocked. And then usually in NFL games, right? We've had this conversation a million times. Like anything can happen. I agree. Anything can happen. Can't happen this week.
No. Just
can't be
sweeps. No, I wasn't saying that they should have gone 17-0. I'm saying that in their 3 losses, we had to do a lot of things to mess it up for us to lose the games, and we were still in them. That's my point. It's that things need to get really drastic and really weird for us to lose football games. That was my only point. No, I don't think anyone was saying 17-0.
And not that this has any bearing.
In the regular season, no. So the regular season, it's different than posting. Like you can stub toes and do those things in the regular season. I mean, you don't have the next week the stub. You know what I mean? And to be sloppy or to turn the football over and not be yourself. You know what I mean? It's definitely not the week you wanna go start doing that. Jacob says, yeah, okay. Go ahead, Greg. What were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say, and not that this has any bearings on this week, but it looks like the Eagles are gonna roll over about $5 million in cap space to the 22 that they expect to have next year. But that's not enough to just completely bring everybody back, right? So our window right now with this team is right in front of us, right? You know what I mean? To where you have to take care of business against an inferior opponent at home with all your ducks in a row, right? I mean, you're only missing, in theory, one guy in Avante, but we've missed him a lot of this year, so we should be okay playing without him, right? We should be past that point to where, that huge loss is going to impact a lot of the game, right? He's a huge loss, but we played enough without him, right? But we can't, going into the offseason and next year, and again, not that there's any bearings on the game, but our roster potentially could look very different going into next year just because of, while we do have a little bit of cap space, we don't have enough to go just bring everybody back. So we have this window. We got to stomp through it right here.
Well, yeah, that's why it's like your opportunity and your chances to win when you're really good and you have a roster like this. They're far and few. Not saying you can't go back and win next year and draft well, blah, 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 right? Sure. Not saying it's impossible, but you've had a majority of a healthy roster, right? Right? You were the best team in the NFC all year long. You can't. These opportunities don't always happen. Yep. Everything's got to come through you, and you get a Giants team week 1 when you could have got a Cowboys team, essentially, most likely, or maybe a Tampa, but a Cowboys team. I mean, that's who realistically, if you just break it down off of wins, losses, that's realistically who should have been coming here. Oh my God! I mean, you got to. I hate to say this, and I don't give a fuck if it backfires. You got a gift this week. You got a gift. That's a talent. That's how big a difference it is. I hate to say it. They're not even close to being as good as us.
It's the most open the NFC is going to be in quite a while. It's the most open it's been, and it's the most open it's going to be for a long time. Like you're looking at your biggest opponents again, assuming and again / you better get past this week, is the winner of a Dallas team that's good, right? But you've seen them, you know how to beat them, especially when you actually have your starter in there. Or a team that has a ton of weapons, has looked good, but it's a rookie quarterback. Right? Like this isn't Aaron Rodgers. This
not a first round
Brady.
pick. Not a first round pick. Either.
And he's been awesome, right? Like I'm not taking anything away. I don't think he's the next Tom Brady, like some people were talking about. But like I'm not taking anything away from Brock Purdy. But this isn't like this isn't the AFC, for example, where you got to go through Burrow, Mahomes, Herbert, friggin' Lamar if he decides to play that week. You know what I'm saying? Like you have way tougher caliber opponents and quarterbacks. And honestly, defenses than you do in the NFC. I don't see the NFC being like the old NBA Eastern Conference where it's like two teams and everyone else sucks for very much longer. It'd be nice, right? Because I think we would be at the top echelon of teams. But like, I don't see that lasting for another 5 years. I think this is kind of it. Oh yeah, it could. I would love it.
You have no idea. We have no idea because the NFL is such a year-to-year league. You know, teams come out of nowhere and get better all of a sudden. Teams find their quarterback and get better quick. Or teams don't and become dumpster fires. So, you know, it's such a 2 year, what happens in those periods. The NFL is so weird. But you have a chance to win right this minute, like you guys are saying. And I think the Niners is a tough game if that's who you play. Either way, nothing's easy when you get to a title game. But the fact of the matter is this week is the week I'm talking about, and this is easy. This is a gift that gets you to a NFC title game. It's a gift that gets you there. And if you said before the year we were going there, before the year, even though expectations have changed, that's a win. Now it doesn't change because you are the best team, right, in the NFC. Now you got to go to a minimum of Super Bowl, and I think that should be our fair expectations now. Once you get there, we'll talk about that. But that bare minimum, this team should be playing a Super Bowl. And if not, it's a failure. It's a failure.
Chrome,
nice.
No, I mean, listen, hey guys, thank you too, buddy. You look good.
You're matching.
Listen, I have to agree. You know, I don't want to take anything away from the Giants and what they've accomplished this year. They got a great head coach who game plans really well. He understands his talent, and he puts them in positions to succeed. Daniel Jones has definitely made steps this year, and I think you have to give a lot of credit for that. That being said, they played Minnesota, a team that everybody has known has been a fraud 2 or 3 seed throughout the entire season. So, you know, that defense is not the same defense. Not to say that Saquon's not going to get his spots, but you're talking about a much better run defense that's a lot healthier now. Coming into this game, you're getting Lane back this game. I just and I think Jalen's going to be fine. I'm not one to go and say, you know, it's going to be a walk in the park, but this is a game they should win handily. This is a game that you know, you kind of maybe have a little bit of a reservation of just not being overly confident, but you should feel good about your football team going into this game. Worry about San Francisco and all them later on. Worry about this game this week and feel good about this week going in.
No, I mean, for sure. I mean, that's,
you know, skill. I mean, look at the skill positions too. And I count quarterback as a skill position, particularly when you have Jalen Hurts, who does a lot of different makes a lot of different skill plays. The wide receiving core, it's not even close. Dallas Goedert is a better tight end than anything they have on that football team. And, you know, they have the advantage at running back, and there's no denying that. But, you know, they're coming here into our house. The one game where both teams played their starters, they got romped. I just think, you know, I look at too where people were like, well, you know, they played their second and third stringers and everybody freaked out. Well, I don't think the Eagles were trying to expose too much at that point. I don't think, you know, they weren't running any quarterback designs, runs. And I think the Eagles were doing just enough there to be in a position throughout the game to keep themselves in front. I don't think they were worried about benching guys. I don't think they cared about that.
No, the game was never close enough to worry. It was to get
Right.
Jalen snaps.
It was enough to not take your
Russ
starters
off
out.
and not hurt and not
Right.
get
It was enough to not take your starters out, but they didn't give anything away. And that was pretty clear. And now again, another week of rest for him. I think they go back to business as usual. I think the play calling goes back with the design runs for the quarterback. Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt for people who say, well, you know, and this is what they do in the national media, because if they tell you the Eagles are going to blow everybody out, nobody's going to care about this game. So you know they're doing it.
Real quick. The last 4 games not encouraging. Jimmy J says that's the biggest jackass a comment or analyst, or that'd be able to analyze what you like the last 4 games. What are you talking about? Like, first off, how many games were played with a backup quarterback? 2 of them. Okay. The other game was in Chicago where we won, where it was -5 and 50-mile-an-hour winds. And the last game of the season was against Giants backups. And
you won with a quarterback who had a bump shoulder.
Yeah, like I don't.
They were
what's not
running
encouraging?
25% of their offense. They didn't even run any of their third down plays.
Yeah, I mean,
Jalen Hurts' mobility is. It's important everywhere, but the 2 most important times and places it's important is third down and red zone. You know where they sucked in that game? Third down and red zone, because they didn't let Jalen Hurts be Jalen Hurts, because it didn't matter. That's why.
Guys,
in the interest of having
when you look at frauds are going to show themselves not only by the eye test, but they're going to show themselves by their point differential throughout a season. Okay, so when you point out the frauds like fucking Tampa, who got exposed, you point out the other, right? Who else? Minnesota, another fraud got exposed. Okay, there was times this year where I thought that, hey, they turned the corner, Minnesota, like the Buffalo win, etc. They didn't. Same old Vikings, okay, and their point differential showed that. So when you look at that kind of stuff, that's a true tell if a team's a little bit of a fraud or not. Look at ours and look at the other best teams in the NFC and AFC, and come back to me if we're a freaking fraud or not, right? And who we lost to. Like, you only have a few teams, Jimmy, to say that about. That's sad. Think about that. I got a lot when I rattle off the Giants. So, I mean, I'm not here to tell you the Giants stink, okay? I'm here to tell you the cute little run they've been on ends this week. It was a nice story for Giants fans. Brian Dable's your guy. You're going in the right direction, but it ends Saturday night. All right? Simple. There's no other conversation about it. Like, they go back and forth with people, like, if we're good enough, if they're good, if they're bad, everything people want to try to take shots at this week. We can get into that next week. We can dive deeper on how good the Eagles really are, right? When we dive into who will be playing an NFC title game. But this week we're head and shoulders better than who's coming to town. You have no excuse to lose this football game, and I'm not a guy to say that when the playoffs come. But this week is different. It's different. And when you get in a layup line, you better make your layups.
I guess Jake's comment goes to when somebody was saying, like, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. He said since the 1970 merger, there have been 23 occasions of a team meeting for a third time after one team won the first 2 matchups. The sweeping team is 15-9, which is 60% winning percentage. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, sir.
All right, yeah. I mean, I don't. That's a great stat to add on to what we're saying, but I don't care if it was 9-15. I don't care if it's 9-15. You know what I mean? Because I get it. It happens. There's teams that don't get beat 3 times, and then there's the other side of it. Teams get beat 3 times because guess what? The team they're playing isn't good enough. They ain't good enough to keep it going. Are you guys okay? Not you guys. Look, the people out there. Are you guys okay? You think you sit back and say that to yourself? The New York Giants are going to the NFC title game. Just say that to yourself, and when you're done saying it, punch yourself in the face. Or slam your head off your dresser, right? Anything. And don't like kill yourself. Just a good fucking bruise, a good wake-up call. If we're going to actually say that. If you want to tell me Dallas, I said this. Dallas actually has a roster that you can make the case for an NFC title game in the NFC. The Giants do not. It was a 3-team race. We all knew who the 3 teams are. And guess the teams that weren't in that race. Tampa. All right, even though there's guys on the radio that told me where you need to be about Tampa.
Minnesota.
All right, Minnesota. We know who the frauds were. They were the 3 big dogs when it was all said and done, even though Dallas limped their way in. They limped their way in, according to Jimmy J. They should struggle against Tampa, right, Jimmy? It wasn't encouraging. All right? Guess what? Guess what? When you're way more talented than somebody, guess what happens? That in their own place,
Didn't the Giants limp their way into the playoffs before they beat the Vikings on the road? I believe in the regular season, Frank or Ralph, somebody checked this. I think in their last 7 regular season games, they were 2-4-1.
They needed help to get in, didn't they?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yes.
I know
I don't think they clinched their playoff spot themselves. Somebody lost, I think, and that's what got them in.
I'm not sure, but either way, I'm like 98% sure they went 2-4-1, which I think is the definition of limping.
Washington lost because Juan Rivera.
Forgot.
Didn't realize that they could be eliminated.
Yeah, so that's actually, and that's not a shot at the Giants.
And
That's actually like,
because their last game doesn't matter. So they're 2-3-1, right? Because I'm not even going to count the last game, right? Because they didn't play anybody. So they're 2-3-1. So I mean, it's essentially a limp. I mean, it's who they are. They got limpy after their really good start to the season. So let's not forget the start they had. There's people in the chat that said Eagles peaked too soon. What? Peaked too soon? The Giants peaked for a couple of weeks and went away, and then they were just this. They were a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, what were they? 6-1 at one point, right?
Yeah. Talking about peak too soon. I would like to. This is why I love it when people comment in and then they get exposed back. I love when somebody comments in and they're like, "Oh, I got a great point tonight," right? They take a shot at the Eagles, and then, "Oh shit, I just got a right hook to the jaw. I didn't see that coming." And so you talked about, somebody said, "Oh, the Eagles, they're starting." What? What are we talking about? The Giants are 6-1. 6-1. That's peaking too soon, because at the end of the day, their true colors of their roller coaster on who they were going to be this year showed their colors. So that doesn't mean they can't win again. But hold on, to the point, last thing, Chrome. They just went in somewhere and beat somebody after that struggle. So it doesn't. That's not the end all be all. It's not the end all be all that you have to be hot going in. It's helpful. You just can't be a dumpster fire like Tampa going in. That's the difference.
Minus San Francisco and minus Cincinnati, and I'm including Kansas City in their last 2 or 3 games of the year. Every team had struggles. Even look at, you mentioned Dallas, right? Almost lost to the Texans. They struggled against Tennessee that ran a JV squad out there.
Mm-hmm.
They struggled against they put up a lot of points, but they struggled offensively or defensively against Gardner Minshew.
They needed us to turn over 4 times in Dallas to win the game by 6-7 points.
And it took a 3rd and 30 for them to win.
Yeah.
Lost to Washington.
Be honest, it took a 3rd and 30 for them to win.
Yep.
Lost to
We
Washington.
get the ball back there, we win that game.
Buffalo struggled. I mean, every team who's pretty much left, minus, again, Cincinnati got hot at the right time, which they turned into who we thought they would, honestly. And then
I'll put the Chiefs in there though, Chrome, because I think
I did put the Chiefs in there.
Oh, okay.
I did mention the Chiefs. I said including the Chiefs. There's only 2 teams. San Francisco and Cincinnati, the only teams that were kind of rolling the last few weeks of the year going into the playoffs. Everybody else left had their struggles those last 3 or 4 games. Everybody left.
I'll put Cincinnati in there.
Cincinnati struggled.
Against
struggled. No, they struggled against Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore Baltimore made a game of that in the playoffs. So I mean, I don't. Anything can happen, obviously, but the better, more talented football team won. But like anybody thinking that it's like taking the 8.5. Oh, 8.5. They're gonna roll them. No, well, no, because actually Baltimore has a top 5 defense. So that top 5 defense came to play and kept them in a football game. The Giants do not. That's what I think people are missing. The addition back of Adoree Jackson and Xavier McKinney really helped them for sure. I'm not going to take anything away from that. Who's on the other side? Who's your other safety? Right? Oh, Landon Collins. That's cool. It's cool. Right? I mean, they're okay.
Yeah.
And then everything else is okay. Their front's better. Their front's better than it was. Obviously, you had Tibbs, right? Dexter Lawrence is a problem. He's a very good football player. They're good. But the overall length to it isn't elite. Makes sense? It's not elite. It's like they have good players, but they're going to want to blitz 1,000,000 times. Like that's what Wink does. He wants to bring pressure. He wants to bring zero blitzes. That's what he wants to do. You know,
and who was wide open this past week for Minnesota? T.J. Hockenson was wide open all day.
Wide open because they don't have the pieces to cover.
Dallas Goedert is going to be wide or should be wide open, right? And outside of Jefferson, right? I mean, Thielen is what he is, right?
But he's old.
But he's old. You're right. He's old, but he's not like our wide receiver core is just. I'm not going to say
they're not old.
They're not old. They're young.
That's the funny thing.
And they're going to be open, right? You know what I mean?
And
someone's going to have to cover AJ or DeVonta.
We know you're open. We know you're open.
We know you're open.
We know you're open. You're
always
open.
Ball, Miles. I'm taking the ball.
You're always open.
That video was brilliant. Brilliant.
Before like the everyone came hot and was like talking about like in the chat like we ended at at the wrong point or we peaked at the wrong point, whatever the hell happened like 5 minutes ago. It was funny because I was actually going to bring up like what I was actually impressed by with the Giants this past week, which was how they stopped Justin Jefferson. And I don't know if this is like Jefferson.
That was impressive,
yeah. Like, well, I think it was 7 for 47 on 9 targets. Like, yeah, like that's a really good job by a secondary that's been banged up for a lot.
What was his end numbers? What was his
7 for 47 on 9 targets, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, that's a Dory. That's bracketing him. That's just not letting ever going like one-on-one with him enough. Mm-hmm. But like again, that's awesome job, right? It's an awesome job because not everybody does it. But now you got to do it with 2 guys that are at the caliber of Jefferson. So can you do it with 2 guys and a tight end that's better than Hockenson? That's the next question that will be the answer for the Giants defense. Like that's cool. That's like we said.
You're trying to bring pressure.
Yeah, all while you're trying to bring pressure. You zero blitz this shit or try to go man up on this. Oh.
I think that's the difference between
again with a quarterback that can run.
We're having.
Yeah.
That quarterback can run. Yep.
that too. Yeah. Well, and I think the biggest thing too is like if I was a Giants fan coming into a stream trying to talk, or get all riled up or whatever, I would bring up like, oh, our defense is going to do to AJ Brown what they did to Jefferson, and we would laugh at it to an extent, even though it's like, hey, it's impressive that you stopped and you really took one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver out of the game in a playoff game on the road. Like that's impressive. But to everyone's points, you have to do that to 2 other guys.
Is this guy Jimmy, how much of the ball?
No, he's not.
How much of the ball have you hit, Jimmy?
No,
like that doesn't. So you. Okay.
Kenny Galladay needed 76 catches to get an incentive this year.
Listen, let me say this too.
I think he had 3.
There's a vast difference too, right? If you put Jefferson on this team, having Jalen Hurts, who's going to extend plays and give him more opportunities to get open, is a big difference as opposed to, they shut down the wide receiving core, but you have Kirk Cousins, who's a statue in the pocket. It's a big difference because he doesn't extend plays because he has to basically find his first 1 or 2 options and then get rid of the football. He's not going to extend plays.
If you bring pressure
that's
to
the difference
Kirk
maker.
Cousins, if you bring pressure to Kirk Cousins up the middle, any statue quarterback, you're going to bother him. Right? It's going to be uncomfortable. This is a different animal. He's
passe at this point.
And we actually, what's funny, Jimmy? Like that's cute, and it's a cute underdog story. Like we spread it around. Everybody gets their touch.
That's the weirdest thing.
You know what we do? We spread it around on fucking steroids. You understand? Our spread around is steroids. So this is what I can't wait. I can't wait. I cannot wait to dominate the Giants on Saturday. Like I don't. There might be 5 minutes of this game where I think, oh shit.
Justin Fields? You mean the team that sucked? The team that's the number 1 pick in the draft? Why are we referencing Justin Fields?
What?
Damn. This is a new one.
Go back to the Chicago game.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't give a damn about the Chicago game. I don't give a damn. We came out with a win.
Because I'm gonna let these guys, come in here. Take over the show with their stupid comments, which we appreciate all comments, but some are just stupid. So we'll segue into our score predictions and offense defensive player of the game. We'll get away from these guys for a minute. We'll pull up a sponsor. We can't see the chat now for a second. And we'll tell everybody, Gleason's Bar, located 6700 Mill Creek Avenue in Levittown, PA. You can use promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or online. Gleason's Bar and Steaks.com is where you can find them. If you nail the score, $300 Venmo. Eagles, Giants. What's your score prediction out there, people? And your tiebreaker is offense and defensive players of the game. If two people or more have the same score. So, Greg, I think it was 27. What was it on Sunday? Do you remember?
27-16 or 27-17.
27-17.
28-17.
You might have been 28. I went 27, maybe. That's what it was.
Well, yeah.
I gotta change my score.
Yeah, I've been 28-17. I'm not gonna go up or down on it. I mean, I called it the lock of the century. This is what this football game is. And I'll take all the heat. I don't play. So I just want people to know that. Like, I'll take all the heat if they lose. I'm calling it the lock of the century because if they do, God forbid, I'm going down Broad Street firing everybody. I'm just driving down Broad Street. You're fired. Jeffrey, actually, maybe you're fired. Right? And especially if, like, Doug advances. Like, God forbid they go beat Kansas City.
I can't deal with the city.
Oh my God! I'm telling you,
just
Greg,
Doug advances alone. I can't deal with the city.
I'm going to make.
I can barely deal with this city for the win, and I had him.
Everybody that told me don't develop, I will, and Nick does. I will literally start the experiment. I think Nick Sirianni is a fantastic human being. In my 45 seconds with him. That's what she said. Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah. But he's tremendous. But whatever. You can be tremendous all you want. You can be the greatest guy in the country. Okay? You can't lose Saturday and expect to keep a job. I don't care. Like, you're going to. Makes sense? You're going to. I get it. But there's a lot of heat now. Right? And now the pressure going into next year becomes even higher. Right? Expectations are like booming because this did happen. Keith, that was a good score. I mean, I could see it. Listen, in Australia. Hey, Randy, appreciate you.
Randy, appreciate you, buddy.
A little shrimp on the barbie. You know what I mean? I love it.
Good day.
He's obviously not scared.
Make sure the dingoes don't eat your babies.
7 of the top 10 deadliest insects out there in Australia. I'd be scared. He obviously isn't worried about it.
Ralph, what the hell did he say?
No idea.
The dingo ate the baby or something like that.
I didn't want you to repeat. Okay, Ralph, go ahead.
Score. I'm gonna go.
Hi,
my mother. Yeah.
Hi, Ralph's mom. Come back in.
I'm gonna go 21-13 Birds.
Oh, okay.
21-13.
Don, not just may have. Frank. The comeback in is I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to leave that there. We'll continue to move on with our score predictions.
Frank, it's you.
Don't screw it up.
I was about to say no.
Hold on.
The Giants.
No, absolutely not.
Oh God.
I hate
Give me the Eagles win.
I hate the signs.
Give me the Eagles win 31.
So tough, isn't it?
31-26.
Oh.
31-26.
Oh. All
okay.
right. Sweat.
I was very close to Tommy's score. I think I ended up at 27-17. And I think it's about where we're going to be. So I'll stay there.
Don't love this.
Nope.
I've heard a couple guys close to it. Don't love this now.
I got the Birds 29-18.
What are we doing?
We're just keeping it real. It's all we can do. You know what I mean? I guess it's all we can do. We're head and shoulders better. Everybody knows it.
I even went with like an odd score, man. Like, oh, nobody's going to pick this. Give me 30-17. If that's still available.
30-17 is.
Okay.
All right. So everybody went?
Yeah.
Well, offensive player of the game, we'll start with. I'm gonna go with my son. He's been hot for me recently, Greg.
Yes.
He's been scorching. So DeVonta Smith, 2 tutties, over 100 yards.
Oh, 2 tutties.
Yeah, 2. He's gonna expose their asses again. Because who you cover? You got to cover AJ.
No, you're absolutely right.
Got to cover AJ. So somebody's got to be one-on-one.
You can't.
Somebody's going to be one-on-one.
The train beat you, so let the sexy train beat you, or Slim Train, right? Slim Batman.
Mr. Wing, probably 90-0, but
I do miss a Noah prediction this week.
I'll give you Noah's prediction when I come back and I have to pee. But let me just get my defense when I roll out of here. All right. Since nobody's gonna, I'm gonna go. You know what we did in the Super Bowl run? You remember? You guys remember? Who remembers? Who remembers?
We did a lot in the Super Bowl run.
A lot of things.
No, we said a lot of things. We said a lot of things about one player. But at the time, he was $100 million man.
Oh,
so who's
better hear your name all day.
Hold on. Who's the most expensive player on our defense?
Fletch.
Oh no! Right now it's probably
Darius.
Slay. Yeah, it's
I know.
Slay.
I know who it was. I'm asking you guys to make sure we all know out there. So I'm gonna need Mr. Lockdown, Mr. Big Play.
We need it.
You're gonna have to make big plays. I'm gonna need an interception from Darius Slay this week, or not hear your name at all because ain't nobody catching nothing. So every ball thrown your way. Every ball thrown your way throughout the playoffs, I'll only hear a positive thing said about you. That's the way I'm going with him. All right, you're a biggest money guy? Cool. Fletch got it all 2017. Every week. Better hear Fletcher's name 100 times. Huh? Darius, better hear your name 100 times. No, it's not possible, but I need to hear your name 100 goddamn times. So, let's go, boys. Go ahead. Finish with your offense.
We got like 50 Fletcher Cox comments in here. People got confused. Fletcher.
Well, I love like Jesse and all these guys remember it. No, it was. I was taking you back to him, but I can't say him at this point because he's not our highest paid player, right? It's got to go. It's got to go. It's got to go to your highest.
Yeah, I got
player.
what you're saying. Yeah.
So now it's, hey, Dar, haven't seen you in a while. We're talking again. All right, you had a great year last year. You've had a great half a year this year. Now, got to go back because if not, you got to change Twitter handles. Darius Slayton tears you apart. You got to go change Twitter handles. That's how that works.
To no play Slay.
No, I'm just here, Slay.
Well, when we started calling him no play Slay in like week 5 of last season, afterwards he started becoming like defensive player of the year Slay. So maybe we should start calling him that now. No play.
No play Slay. Can't backpedal Slay.
30-30 Slay.
I'm too old now, Slay. You can do it all day.
Not as good as James Bradbury Slay. I don't know if that's a nickname. That might just be.
I don't know. I would draft.
That might just be real life.
I could possibly get talked in, and this is the only thing I'll say about this for the rest of the playoffs. But I could get talked into taking a corner at the end of the first round, and at the first pick in the second round. I think I need 2, not 10.
I thought you were going to Jalen Ramsey me.
That's where you're going.
I'm all in. I'll fucking give you. What do you want? You want 30? You want whatever pick we are to get yourself back in the first? LA, here you go. I'll give it to you. I'm in win now mode now. I found out I have a quarterback. I'm in win now fucking mode. Let's shut it down. Shut her down. Because he's still better than Slay, even though he's a freaking problem too. But
yeah, he has some nicknames.
He's still elite. He's still elite. And I don't know exactly how old he is, but I think he's still got. I feel like he's still got a good 2-3 years in the tank. Easy.
27, 26.
Easy. Like at an elite level, a good 3, I would say. 4, depending on how old he is.
He turns 29 in October.
So, 2, 3. 3. We'll say 3. 3 elite years left, just like you did with Slay. You did the same thing at Slay at 29. Do it again. Hey, you got another guy coming in. Hey, Jalen. And another guy who's won. Right? He's going to AFC title games with Jacksonville. And he's won a championship with the Rams. So you can't say he's like a problem if you're winning championships.
True.
That can't be that big of a problem.
Yeah, if you can go to the AFC Championship with Blake Bortles, you're doing something right.
Oh yeah, well he was the leader of that was like a Legion of Boom too. All right, we're not gonna give you a history lesson here.
Ralphie?
The fuck up, Jimmy. That's all.
What's this?
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth, Jimmy.
I'm so confused. He's like a Celtics.
I think Jimmy
Fan.
J is also confused, to be honest.
Jimmy's
Very
he's
weird.
a Celtics fan, but seems like he's a Giants fan. Isn't that like?
No, I just think he's anti-Philly. I just
It's
think
like a
he's just
Cowboys
any-
fan living in South Jersey.
Or he's a Patriots fan, like he should be, because he sounds like a front runner. I bet you he's not even from Boston, but I bet you he likes all the Boston teams because of their histories. You know what I mean? Like, I bet you he's a guy like, I love their history. I fell in love with the history of the organization. I fell in love with Red Auerbach and a fucking cigar. Shut up, Jimmy. Thanks for all the comments, though, brother. All jokes aside.
Ralphie.
I'm gonna go Dallas Goedert, 2 tutties.
Mother, father, sister,
Yep.
brother.
Have fun. You get on the same boat as me.
It's gonna be a big boat.
True.
Jump on, Frank. Come on. Come on now.
Do I go with the obvious?
Are we talking about boats right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to buy a boat. Just
Are
throwing
you?
it out there.
Hopefully it's a big one.
Oh,
I mean, nobody wants a
geez.
small one. Just trying to help you out. That's all. Frank, please. Anything?
You know what?
Trey Sermon?
Gonna ride. No, but I am gonna go with a running back. Give me the giant killer, Boston
Oh,
Scott.
there he is.
There he
Thank
is.
you,
There it is.
There he is.
Ralph, I just want to say good to have you back. Thanks, Ralph, for the chuckle. Thank you.
Greg?
I'm going to stay in the running back room. Give me Miles Sanders.
No, we're not going to have any players left, are we?
Michael?
There's a couple big
I'm
ones
going-
left.
I'm going with the obvious here. I'm going with AJ Brown. This is exactly why you bring him in. In this kind of a situation, to be that big play guy, to get those tutties, he's going to have a 2 tutty game.
I can't believe you're wearing a Bradford jersey.
No, it's the Vic
No,
jersey.
it's a Mike.
I know. I'm just busting balls.
I'll talk
Don't
about
start
that.
putting that shit out
Don't
there.
do that.
Don't you
Don't
bring
do
that.
that.
Don't you bring that name up on this show on this week, Brown?
Yeah.
Why?
Don, go to hell. That's all I'm going to say, Don. All right, so who's left? I'm not taking
Devontae.
No,
no,
Devontae's
Tom
taken.
took Devontae.
Well, you got a quarterback that's out
You got
there.
a quarterback
Oh, yeah.
to take.
I never take the quarterback. I feel like bad things happen when I take quarterbacks.
You
'cause
got
I
Grant
never do it.
Calcaterra,
Got Quez.
Maybe a good. No, I refuse to take Quez Watkins.
Zach
Uh,
Did you go
Pascal.
with another running back in the room? Did you go with Kenny Gainwell?
No, I know. I'll save that for Chuck.
I mean, we do
Wide
have an
receiver we
Australian
just
viewer.
signed to
Maybe
the
we go
practice
with the
squad.
native Australian.
yeah.
Joe Milano?
Why? I saw that earlier. Like freaking Tyreek Cleveland. Like
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all
Um,
practice squad.
I'll say Lane Johnson.
Jake Elliott.
Jake Freel.
Jake Freel's an Eagle.
I went Jake Freely, like AJ Freely.
Jake Freel.
I think,
He's playing.
I think you're talking about Jake Friel there, Greg.
Hey, Julio.
I'll go Lane Johnson.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
I say he'll make it through the game. His presence will be felt because, well, he's Lane Johnson. He's arguably the most important player in Philadelphia, and I'm not mincing words. I just think he is.
That is not hyperbole either.
No, I would debate that with anybody. Any team. I think he's.
Oh yeah, that's right. Suppose is Australian. That's right. DG.
Ralphie, defense.
Defensive player of the game for me is welcome back, Josh Sweat.
First
Josh
playoff
Sweat.
game of his career.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake, congratulations. Greg got
Yeah.
you a contract.
You're gonna kick for the Cowboys. Can't be any worse.
Fair.
No.
I can't believe I lost the overs on that.
Frank.
One kick.
You know, what? Let's go with one Mr. Hassan Reddick.
Good pick.
Daniel. Because we don't usually take the quarterback. That's why.
Daniel Jones.
Give me my son, TJ Edwards.
Damn you.
When
That's
it's
a
out,
good
go
pick.
with the
I think,
sun.
I think they're going to be spying Jones
I think
a
he's
little bit.
I think he's going to be very impactful with the Daniel Jones legs.
Yep.
I almost went
Yeah,
Kaiser.
I'm right. I'm right here with Greg.
Oh,
Time to put the old team back, take them behind the woodshed, and put them down.
I
He's
read
gonna have-
something. I read something on Twitter that he's like itching to feel the atmosphere on Saturday night.
He's gonna have
fired
a
up.
pick. He's gonna have a pick this week.
Like it almost gave me goosebumps. Like how like fired up it like made it seem like he is.
who are we talking
Absolutely. James
James
Bradbury.
Bradbury.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
He's
talking
ready
about
to take that old team back behind the woodshed and put him down like old
Yeah.
Yeller.
Mhm.
Anybody go with Reddick?
I
Yeah,
said
frankly.
Hassan Reddick. I'm sorry.
It's fine. We're fine. Yeah, I'll go Gardner Johnson. I don't usually pick him. That's usually Tom's pick. But no, I mean he's integral in the turnover margin. He's integral in the secondary. I'm interested to see. While I don't necessarily want it, I'm interested to see if they do what they did the last time we played the Giants, even though it was kind of just a get through the game type thing where they had Gardner Johnson playing in nickel, and then you had Ed Reed Blankenship playing obviously safety. I'm interested to see if they do that. I don't think they will. I think they'll go Josiah Scott and then put Gardner Johnson, obviously where he had all the
That's
picks.
what they should do.
But you're with me though, right, Greg? Like I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they do what they did against the Giants.
They might do it at times, right? They might do it at times.
Yeah.
I didn't mind them doing it in that last game just because you knew CJ had the experience playing the slot, right? And you kind of knew, like, you know, that game was house money kind of type of situation. So if you're going to try something, rather you try it in that game than in a playoff game. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is the first time we're going to do that, and let's throw it out in the playoff game. No. Why don't you work out a couple of the kinks there? But to your point, Rye, I'd be okay not seeing Reed Blankenship for a lot. And I'm not saying he's terrible, and I'm not saying he hasn't helped out at times. But if CJ's healthy, if CJ's playing, he's the league leader in turnovers from the safety position, not the slot position.
While not playing 5 games. And
Yeah.
he still leads the league.
Here's the tweet I saw. Bradbury says he can't even imagine what the atmosphere will be like at Lincoln Financial Field on Saturday. He keeps thinking about running out of the tunnel in 3 days.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously big. Greg,
I got another good one.
yeah, I almost went Linval, to be honest. The only reason why I haven't been taking the interior guys lately, it's because I don't know how they're going to balance the snap counts. Because remember, early in the year, I was picking Jordan Davis like every other week, especially in a game like this where you're going to have to stop the run. I'm just interested to see if we can shut down Saquon early, which we've done the last few times we played him, especially this season. I'm interested to see how much they're going to really try and force him the ball in the passing game. Because then it comes to more, okay, not that our interior guys are irrelevant, but that kind of takes it out of like, oh, okay, well, it's got to be more on the coverage guys, the linebackers, etc.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I stray from that. Now, obviously, I mean, you're going to need the interior guys to step up in the first quarter. That way they have to kind of push the issue and kind of move it to the passing game, right? Because if the C's are parting in the first couple drives, then Houston, we might have a problem. You know what I mean? Or it might get a little more interesting than we want it to be. Tom, and he said this earlier, and he says it again, like, Reddick better be after Jones all day. Yeah, I mean, he better. No cornerback Hassan Reddick. We better not see that anytime soon. SJM, I almost went with him also. He says Kaiser White, he's got to get a pick 6. I feel it. Oh, he's going to get a pick 6. I feel it in my bones.
Ooh.
Kaiser White's a really good pick also, just based off of, again, the Daniel Jones thing, also dropping back in coverage. I just don't like what I've seen out of Kaiser in the second half of the season. I don't know if he's nursing an injury. I don't know if it's just like, hey, maybe I'm not that good.
Yeah, maybe he's getting exposed a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah.
I agree with you, Rye. And I was gonna chime in too. Like, you talked about Jordan Davis, how they were, you were heavy on him early. How crazy is it that our 2 first-round picks, or not first-round picks, Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, who could have been a first-round pick, haven't played much this year, right? Even when Jordan Davis is healthy, he doesn't get a ton of snaps just because of the depth of our defensive line and our linebacking corps, which is something we haven't been able to say in a long time. But that's gonna play dividends for us next year, and I'm not even there yet, right? Mm-hmm. But to your point, Linval and Ndamukong Suh, Milton Williams, Fletcher Cox, and then of course the beast himself, Javon Hargrave. I mean, they've been outstanding this season.
Well, I think it's a matter, and again, like, would I rather see our first round pick that we traded up to get a little bit more snaps? Of course, we've talked about that all season. But it's as simple as, okay, Jordan Davis has been nursing a handful of injuries this season. Also, you brought two guys in off the street. They are contractually obligated to.
They have been playing great.
Yeah, exactly. They
who
gave
have
you
the
a boost.
experience too.
Yeah,
that
Like,
also
both are Super Bowl champs.
Jordan Davis isn't going anywhere for the next 3-4 years.
Yes.
Linval and Ndamukong, I think we would both agree, as much as they've been playing awesome, I would be surprised if either of them are back.
Agreed.
And that's not because they stink. It's just this comes with the territory with them. They're timeshares,
Yep.
right? They go there for a few months and then they reassess for the best situation. Maybe they do come back. Who knows? If you win a Super Bowl, it probably helped them.
Yeah.
Or it's, hey, we won a Super Bowl with this team. Oh, let's try and get Ndamukong on a lesser known team, but pay him a little extra because you're getting that championship pedigree in there. You know, that's just what happens in this league. But it's Jordan Davis and the Kobe Dean. It's like, hey, not that whatever you get out of them is gravy, because you don't want to say that about, once again, a first-round pick that you trade up to get, but that's more so with the Kobe. I hear you, Ro, and he says, play Dean, damn it. It's just, if they haven't done it yet, they're not going to.
Yeah, I mean they're in on Kaiser White. Obviously, your team tackle leader isn't sitting, and they usually just run those two, right? They usually just run two, and Hassan Reddick is your third quote unquote linebacker.
MBD DB BF. So I like Gannon's game plan: rush 4 and play the corners in Los Angeles. I'm mad that I laughed at that. Just so you know, but that was a good one. Bill says, "Hi, Bill." He says Sue wants that ring bad. He's not going to allow a one and done. Did Sue win one with Tampa?
Tampa
he did,
last
right?
year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay, but he said himself he's ring hunting, which he can at that.
As you should be at 35 years old or whatever. I don't actually think he's that old, but he feels that old because he's
33. I think he's 33.
He feels that old because he's been in the league for a bazillion years.
Yeah.
He's been stomping on people's heads for years.
I want to ask you guys in the chat, from a 1 to 10 scale, when you talk about confidence meter going into this game, where are you? 1 to 10. Confidence beating the Giants. And if you're a Giants fan chiming in, give us your confidence meter in you guys beating the Eagles.
For me, I'm at an 8. And an 8 right now. You always gotta leave that 20% because it's the NFL. You never know what could happen.
10%.
You gotta leave that window open just a tiny bit. But
10% for divisional reasons, 10% for playoff reasons.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go 8 for me is the confident level right now.
You're confident in 8? You're confident in 8? I'll go 100 out of 10. 100.
Bill, what's with the question marks, Bill? I was asking if he won a Super Bowl before. Don't let's not get confrontational, Bill. There's two extra question marks. I don't like that. Okay, just one question mark. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Tommy. 10.
Yeah, there's a lot of 10s. There's a lot of 10s. Frank?
I hear you, Ralph. I don't buy it.
Anybody that like had the roster close to the level of us in division, I'm there. Like I said, like if it's Dallas, I'm probably like a 7.5. All right, I'm in a little bit different of a ballpark than 100. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is, because it's the lock of the century. Like it really is. I hate to keep harping on it. Usually I'd buy in exactly what Ralph just said. Usually I'd say divisional, all those things, and I would have question marks. Right? It's like the first time in my life that I have no question marks. And you know what? That being fucking said, I'll tell you my confidence level. Go ahead, Ryan. You can give yours.
I'll go 8.1. I'll go 8.1. Just so I'm more confident than Ralph. Frank,
what did you do? You say 9?
9.
Okay. I went Billy Bob. 10. Miss Davis, will you go to prom with me? I'm kind of nervous. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know what's about.
Kind of nervous.
We stripping?
Is he bringing?
I hope it's
robe?
not dirty.
All right, there's clothing involved.
Is he putting on a Hurts jersey?
I hear ruffling.
Yeah, he doesn't wear jerseys much, especially on air.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing right now.
We gotta get some.
Oh god, now we're getting nervous.
It's a nice jersey, though.
Oh, it's a solid jersey.
Look nice and fresh and clean. Nice jersey.
So good. It still got the tag on it, good, right? Still got the tag on it.
Nice.
Nice Jalen. A nice Jalen. I said to myself, because I bought it a while ago, I said I wouldn't put it on until we won a playoff game. Well, guess what happened? He already won a playoff game. It didn't even start yet, and he won it. That's my confidence levels. That's all.
Ooh.
It didn't even start fucking yet, the game.
I hear you. I love it. Love it. I agree.
If it's good or bad.
I don't like it, Tom. I didn't like that.
I love it. Fire everybody then. Fire everybody then. You said to yourself, it's a lie if you don't win.
I hear you.
It's a lie. So
if you don't win, Nick, don't check out A2D radio if you don't win. Just
mute the account for a couple weeks. That's all. Just mute us for
couple weeks. You won't be able to do anything right. I'll question everything in your life.
Pizza Hut, dude. You could go Domino's. You could go Papa John's. You had to go Pizza Hut, right?
Yeah,
like I'll have some good stuffed crust pizza.
I do love
a
Pizza
salad
Hut.
bar.
I do love Pizza Hut.
He's just a talker, so like he'll get into pressers and he'll just reveal everything. You know what I mean? And that's his style, and it's worked. And these players obviously respect him. Okay, and they played for him, right? They played for him. So why would they not play for him this week? You don't think this team, especially the guys that were on this team from last year, don't have a bone to pick with how their season ended last year? I mean, if you hear what a quarterback says about like opportunities and they don't come around all the time, and you know, I want to, you know, he pretty much said like I want to be great at this. I want to spend the extra time, right? To put in the extra work, to study extra film, to do those types of things to win. I mean, this team is there. This team is built to do it. So, you know what? For the first time in HUD history, outside of 2017, I was a confident junk. I asked for one more week every week, right? This year, I'm asking for 2 more weeks. Give me a minimum 2. Get me to the Super Bowl, and I'll worry about that when I get there.
Ted says Eli Manning is going to be at the game. Can we get an A2D suite next to him? I don't know, Ted. You buying? You buying?
Right, Ted? Appreciate it if you are.
Yeah. We agree, Jesse. We got you.
Chrome, what's your confidence level?
By the way, 8.5.
Okay. There you go, Chrome. All right. Right down there with Ralphie and I. Very good.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, you know, and you guys are still, your confidence level is still extremely high. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's like teetering at like 5. For the people that teeter like 5, 6, 7, and, you know, that's where I'm like, well, we're really good. When did that stop? You know what I mean? When did us being really good stop? Like, for once, we don't have to expect something to go wrong. We can say, you know what? It's going to go right this time. It's going to go right for us. All right, we're not the city of losers like we went through from like only getting one championship in 2008. Right, we got over our hurdle in 2017 as Eagles fans. We got over, you know, the elephant in the room. There was no Super Bowls. Once you get over that, the stigma is now gone. Right, we're allowed to expect to be great. Right, we're allowed to not be like, oh man, hope this one don't come down to a field goal this week. No, we're walking in this game and we should walk around with our chests out because that's how good we are. And if we lose, then we have big question marks. But we shouldn't be going in this week worried about losing. Like I said, San Fran comes to town next week. Okay, you know, Dallas comes to town, and we want to talk about a better matchup and a team that can give you trouble. Then we can start having that conversation next week. Yep. And Bill, I disagree with that completely because of how it transpired. You weren't saying that after we beat the Giants 48-22, went into a meaningless game against Chicago, gutted out a win, right? Gutted out a win. You weren't saying that. Then Jalen goes down, misses 2 weeks, and the last 3 weeks were meh. We're meh, right? Let's not act like this football team lost 7 in a row down the stretch or 5 in a row down the stretch or even 4 or even 3 in a row. Okay, they did it.
If we had Jalen that Saints game, we're winning that game. So I mean, let's not.
He's got it wrong because he's got it wrong. We are the same 13-1 team. Those last 3 weeks, we weren't the 13-1 team because we didn't have the quarterback. We didn't have our right tackle. We were missing a whole bunch of guys on defense who are coming back now. Absolutely. We are the 13-1 team now. Those last few weeks, we weren't that team. We weren't that team physically with the personnel on the field, with the way they called the games. But now we're back. Now this team is back.
And who's the best quarterback in the NFC, Chrome? Left playing right now.
Oh, it's Jalen Hurts.
It's this guy. It's this guy. So let's have some confidence in it. Let's have some confidence in what we've displayed through a full 17-week season.
Well, my thing, Tom, is if we're going to sit here, right, and everybody, including us, has turned the corner on is Jalen Hurts the guy or not, not the guy, all of a sudden now everybody wants to abandon ship and question his ability against an inferior team to be able to lead us to a playoff victory at home in a matchup that we're clearly the favorites. That's, to me, then we're going back to the same old typical Philly fan where it's riding on emotion of a week where, again, you're holding like what you saw with Gardner Minshew and what you saw with out your right tackle and what you saw with, not having Chauncey Gardner and all these different guys. Avonte Maddox was still out of the lineup, but you're missing all these key pieces. But now you have them back, and we're still like, oh, you know what? Nope, it's the same team. It's the exact same team we saw last week.
Why do you guys think that is, honestly? Because, I can understand to a degree. I get real quick. I can understand in 2017, right? Like, your backup quarterback, we had no idea what was going to happen. None of us. And some of us still picked them to win. Like, a lot of us still picked them to win and go where they did. But I can understand it. Like, oh, you lose the MVP caliber quarterback. You don't know what Nick Foles. He didn't realize he was a god among men for those handful of weeks. Like, he had no idea. This is a team you still have your starting quarterback. He's off the injury report. You're reasonably healthy for all intents and purposes. Like, I understand, we've been banged up the last, month or two, but really the only big loss is Maddox, which we're used to. Everyone else is there, right? Like, we don't know what Lane Johnson.
It's because the Philadelphia sports base is a glutton for punishment. They punish themselves.
Well, by having the other side of it. Well, hold on. The other side of it, Chrome. Speaking for a 4-for-4 guy, because you haven't been through as much, pain personally, as I have. Right.
You're right. Absolutely.
Is that it's a jab back at me too, but but you haven't been through a team that for a decade plus just didn't want to win. But my point is I think the point is that they're conditioned to think the worst. So even when everything's going great, we're conditioned deep down to think, you know what? Oh my God, we're so good that we're going to lose this week because we're so good. We're so good. There's only one stat that scares me about the New York Giants, and that is in their franchise history that they're 6-0 playing number 1 seeds. That's the only weird little. But you're making
You're making the point I was going to make because the whole thing is they're gluttons for punishment. They're conditioned to feel like, it's never going to go right. It has gone right over the last handful of years. You've had the Phillies just in the World Series, a team that's going to be on the rise. The Sixers look like the Sixers again, where they could be possibly on the cusp of at least maybe getting a conference final at this point.
Some people are going to run out of content.
The Flyers stink. They are what they are. But my thing is, we always have to be these underdogs. Philadelphia, it's the hard work. It's this underdog mentality. It's okay to be a favorite. It's okay to be confident.
Even that. I don't think it's even that.
It doesn't feel right, though. It doesn't feel right, though, Chrome, right?
No, I don't think it's an underdog it's first the world. There's some jabronis that think that. Of course, there's a
lot of jabronis that think that.
Of course, and there's all these guys that think it's a boxing match. Okay, but at the end of the day, we're conditioned that we failed for so long. I'm speaking for the majority that they just can't. Even when it's going so well, they just can't buy into it. If we were the Giants,
you're making my point.
No, I'm not. Because if we were Giants fans and the underdogs,
you are because they're gluttons for punishment. Because the facts are, it's not that bad, but they choose to believe.
No,
put themselves in a mentality. So I'm saying,
even if we were that bad,
on themselves.
But what I'm saying to you, even if we were that bad, we wouldn't go walking in this week saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to go shock the world and beat them."
Right.
No, we would still think we were going to lose. So if we're good, bad, or indifferent, we still believe the same outcome is the point.
But you're right. You're still making my point for me though, in that they do that to themselves.
I understand
because
it's talking about underdogs.
years. I get the mentality.
You said it because they always want to be underdogs. I'm telling you, yes. To a
They
point.
believe they're always an underdog. So when
even when they are the underdog, they still think they're going to lose.
You're making my point for me.
No, because you said when they're underdog, they think different.
You're telling me they're conditioned to think this way, even when it's good. It's the point I made. It's that they do it to themselves because it's right in front of them. It's okay to believe it, but they choose not to. You literally made my point. It's okay. We can agree on this. It's okay. We can agree.
Can we have a vote?
But you said underdogs. You made it different. Like that they have to feel like an underdog.
Oh my God, absolutely.
But even when we are an underdog, we still think we're going to lose. Is my point. So regardless,
right? It's still the same mentality. It's the loser mentality. I'm not. It shouldn't be that way because it's a winning city now. It's a successful city in sports.
This guy lost his mind. We were
Ralph, I think we should
until
vote.
you said underdog. Until you acted like underdog, and I think we misinterpreted each other. Until you acted like we took on a different persona. Like that we act like we were going to win even though we weren't good enough, right? That's where I thought you were going. Like, oh, well.
No, I'm not going that way, no.
When you're the underdog, we think we're actually going to go upset somebody. No, when we're the underdog, we think we're going to get our ass kicked even more. It's just that when we're good, like this good, we don't feel the same way we would be if we were 10-6, right?
No, what I'm saying is the mentality of being an underdog is that you're never on the level of whoever you're playing when it comes to big games. That's the idea of the underdog. You never feel like you are the favorite.
Well, so I don't think it's that.
And my idea now is you can be the favorite. It's okay, guys, to go in and be like, this team's better. We've proven it. Yeah, the last few weeks sucked, but if you use logic, you'd have the same team on the field. You have almost the exact same team going on the field this week.
Well, we both agree that,
yes,
people should be on the side of us. Like, hey, come join the party over here. It's a good time. The water's warm. Like it's okay to be awesome.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to go in smiling.
Yeah, it's okay to say we're going to kick their ass this week. It's okay to say that because we don't do it enough in all sports. No matter how good we are.
Hey, our buddy Spells.
We're always going to expect the loss, and we've talked about it on here all the time, right? We've been better
than the Giants. We've been better than the Giants for a decade. And Sean Spellman, our buddy Spells, God bless him. He's annoying as shit, but we love him to death because he's still going to come out there and he's still going to tell us that they're going to kick our ass and they're better. And you know what? They're not. So it's okay for us when we're in the position to say the same thing.
I think in recent terms, especially when you talk about the playoffs, regardless of what happens in the regular season, I'm talking recent terms, not last 20 years, not even the last 10 years. I think it's based off of one thing, of why even in a season like this where it's, again, I said at the very beginning, one of, if not the best regular seasons for an Eagles / just Philadelphia team of my lifetime. I think a lot of people could say ever, like that too.
It's probably this and the 100-win team are probably the best regular seasons you've seen in your lifetime.
Yeah, sure. I honestly think the reason why I think it's not 10%, it's not 20%. I think it's around 30 to 35% of this fan base still is like kind of walking on eggshells is for one reason. And I think it's because of what happened to the 76ers the year that they won all of those games in the regular season. They were the number 1 seed. They looked invincible, and you lay an egg against the Atlanta Hawks. I truly think it's that. Not for everybody, but I think it's one of those things to where things can go so well, and they can amount to nothing again and again and again and again and again.
Well, I think when you talk about and just keeping it the one sport, because there is obviously a majority that might just be like big football fans and not as much in on the other teams, but when you're talking about just one sport, it's conditioned back to the years of getting so close. Mm-hmm. And even when we were awesome, and it was, even when we were awesome and the 1 or 2 seed, the outcome was always the same. And I think then we started conditioned that we're never gonna get over this hump. And then when we got the impact offensive player to help us get over that hump, he gets hurt, something goes wrong, and I think we're just conditioned to expect that. And I think we need to get out of that. And I talked about that in 2017. The same conversation we talked about of like, you know what? Why don't we take the different approach? Like, why don't we start believing good things and being and expecting the best? Like if something really would have went wrong, it would have been Jalen needed surgery on his shoulder when that hit happened. Like, thank God it didn't. So we should be thanking our lucky stars that our best player, the best quarterback in the NFC, is good and healthy. and ready to go and as healthy as he can be. And we have an awesome team around him that we already know is awesome. And we've already got to witness his importance to this football team. Like, I think we should be stoked up, raring to go, and expecting nothing short of a win this week. That's it.
Yeah, and listen, at the end of the day, every season you go in, there's 32 football teams. 31 of them are going to go home disappointed. It ain't going to happen every year, but if you're in a position to be one of those top 2, 3, 4 elite teams in the league that has a legitimate chance, it's okay to be excited. It's okay to recognize that you're a better team than another team and to go in with some confidence instead of walking in like Eeyore, moaning and groaning, asking why even bother. It's a terrible mentality to go in, and I feel like you don't enjoy the ride as much.
Of course,
There's an opportunity for this team to enjoy it.
Of course,
for the fan base to enjoy it.
Chrome, of course, you referenced Disney. I'm proud of that.
It was a good reference, though.
Yeah, it was solid.
That was me in 2017, though, right?
What, referencing Disney?
No.
Greg was
and other grown men being proud of you for it. Is that
no?
Greg was
not.
the Eeyore. Greg was the Eeyore of the.
But I was the Eeyore of the fan base, or at least HUD Radio.
We know you.
Was.
I've been a lot more positive and
he has this year. I got to give him credit.
He's gotten better over the years.
That's right. Yeah. Well, no.
He led the charge. He led the charge on thinking
he's
we
starting
were
to come out a little bit more.
Not even just a ticket, but you're absolutely right. Like, you don't enjoy it as much, right? Because you're expecting the worst. So when the good happens, you're like, oh, it's like a deep breath, but it's not like enjoyment, right? Once you're like, oh yeah, you enjoy it. Like this year, it's been so much more enjoyable because you're expecting good things.
Yeah, the bad's bad no matter what. So why not expect good things, right? Like, bad's bad any way you guys want to slice it. Like, a loss is a loss and it's always bad. But why not go in being positive and expecting to win, especially when you're this good? Because if you lose, you lose. Yeah, if you lose, you lose. It's bad any way you want to look at it. So expect to win.
True. That's so true, though. That's so true.
I still don't, Bill.
Oh my god.
Thus, why I say was.
Well, that's just one team. That's just one team.
Oh. All right.
Okay. Very good team, by the way. But
solid.
Yeah,
pretty good.
People are probably
going to tandem in the NBA, but that's fine.
People are probably going to run out of content as.
You can't really fire anybody when you have the 1 and 2 best tandem in basketball.
Yeah, I got a lot of heat for saying that could be a possibility if both were healthy at the same time. But that was last year. The comparison of a great guard and a great center, good things usually happen. Hopefully this year's the year, as we've been saying it.
It's pretty fun.
But no, you can't beat you can't go in the stuff like when you're this good, expecting to lose. Marcus, we're going to talk about our playoff picks.
Find out in about 10 seconds.
That's my. It's okay. So just let the people. It's okay to enjoy it, guys.
It's okay to be happy.
To believe in. It's okay to believe the team and be happy. Believe in the team and be happy.
We're going to do the wheel at the end of the show too. We're going to do the member wheel. So if you're an HUD member, stay tuned for the wheel. And if you're not, you can become an HUD member and hop in on all the giveaways we're going to be doing. So,
Bill, I'm not doing this with you tonight. We're united with Philadelphia Eagles right now, Bill. They're very good, though, but that's all I'm going to say on the matter. They're very good.
I love Bill, but Bill is like Captain Negativity over here for everything.
I'm so tempted to go further, but I'm not going to do it, Bill. You almost got me. Marcus, yeah, you'll find out in about 10 seconds when we go over the picks.
Yeah, I mean, there's should be another fun weekend. A lot of close games this past weekend. So assume, we should probably get a lot of that. We'll see. The first game is Saturday at 4:30. That's Jaguars Chiefs. That's 8.5.
Kansas City takes that game walking away.
I agree with Chrome.
I also
take
emotional
win for the Jags.
They're not on that level. This is where Cinderella loses her slipper here, turns back into a pumpkin.
Take it from me, somebody who thought the Chargers would win every friggin' award possible. This isn't the Chargers. This is the Chiefs. This is a real team. This isn't Brandon Staley. And
Give me the Chiefs Minus 8.5.
I think it's got the makings of feeling and looking like that Seattle San Fran game.
Oh, said half, and
where,
then they just
where
blow
it
them
potentially
away. Yeah.
closed first quarter, first half, but then Patty takes over in the second half. Patty and Kelsey take over, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't know because I think it depends. I think if it's close early, it benefits Jacksonville, and I say that they spent a lot of emotion, obviously, last week to
Hey,
win that
Bill,
football
sorry, my
game.
mom died last year. That's why I was part-time, by the way, you dickhead. Just want to throw that out.
Oh,
He wants to be a guy who's going to take them shots. Go ahead. Sorry.
Where was I?
Close early benefits the Jags.
Oh
They're
yeah,
wasting
yeah.
a lot of emotion and energy.
Yeah, if they get down early, it's almost like a mail-in, right? And they get rolled. But I think if it stays close early, I think they hang in the football game. So I'll go with the stays close early, just be on the other side. I think they cover the 8.5. I don't think they win, but I think they covered 8.5.
Yeah.
Did
You
everybody
think so? You think so? The 8.5?
Yeah.
They cover that? Jacksonville?
If they stays close early, I'm just being the opposite of everybody because everybody's taking the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Like I just think they cover. I don't think they win. I don't think they have a shot to
No,
win.
no, I know.
Maybe a late touchdown, right? The backdoor
See,
cover, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, to make it look better than it is, type deal.
See, I think Kansas City covers. I don't think it's going to be a blowout game. But as far as the line at 8.5, I think they cover that easily. I think it's probably going to be like a 13-point game.
And to Tom's point, a late fourth quarter touchdown sneaks you in for a little backdoor magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do what that's what she said. Did you do?
He under his breath.
I heard it.
No one else did it. I set it up for somebody.
Giants,
Yeah.
Eagles, 7.5 currently.
Well, we know that one already. We've done that, so we don't need to go back into that well. And Sunday we all have the Eagles, and we all have the Eagles covering the 7.5. I don't think anybody didn't. Correct? Anybody not? Frank didn't. Frank was the only.
I had 21-13. So Giants cover.
The Giants cover. So you two didn't have covers. Everybody else had covers, right?
What is it? It's 7.5? No, you cover.
No, Ralph. No, the Giants don't.
You have them at 8.
Oh yeah, the Giants don't cover. Excuse me, my bad.
All right, well, we're
I was
back.
like, how bad is my math?
Yeah, I'm like, wait a second. Isn't there an 8 in there somewhere?
So we're good. So then Sunday we have Bengals at Bills. This is a great game.
This is going to be fun to watch.
You get a little bit of they were playing before. They're both great teams. It's a tough one, right? Because you have one of the hottest teams in football, if not the hottest, in the Cincinnati Bengals, and a Buffalo team that didn't look great against Miami, and Josh Allen, turned the football over a bunch. And, I think that could be a little bit of a problem in this football game. So the line is 5.5. Where are you guys going?
I'm going Buffalo minus the 5.5.
I'm going Bills by like 12.
I'm going to go Buffalo on this one.
What's the line again?
5.5.
5.5.
I think both teams were in closer games than they both wanted to. I think if anybody expected a close game, it was obviously Cincinnati, knowing how good Baltimore's defense was. And Baltimore's defense gave them fits, obviously, all the way to that final. I mean, not their defense, but the defense kept them in the game to where they legit had an alligator arm chance of winning that game, or at least tying the game, taking it to overtime. But both were in knockout, drag-out games. Give me. I want the Bills for the storyline, but give me Cincy to cover though. I mean, I think if this was around 3, I'd probably go the other way, but 5.5 seems a lot.
Something's got to give because you obviously have the 3 offensive linemen that Cincy's now missing. 2 of them being the additions that they made in the offseason. And Josh Allen all season really, but really the last handful of games, he can't wait to turn over the football.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think if it's a relatively clean game, not even just a fully clean game for Buffalo, I think they win going away, personally.
In the interest of being consistent, I picked Cincinnati to go to the Super Bowl for the AFC, so I'm going to stick with that. Would not be upset with it, particularly for the reason Greg said. The storyline would be great. I think this matchup's going to be the matchup of the week. It's going to be great to watch, but I'm going to stick with Cincinnati to win this game outright.
Yeah, I think it's a 3-point game. I think it's a field goal game. I have that Buffalo going on to the Super Bowl. I don't like what I watched last week too much, but that's okay. I think they're super talented. I think they do win this football game by 3, but I'm going to take the Bengals to cover to 5.5. I agree with you, Greg. I think it's not that nobody else thinks it's a dogfight, but I think this is a dogfight.
Yeah,
it's two teams that are hot and won a lot of football games in regular season. So it should be the game of the weekend, you would think. The next game is I think a great.
Quick, just to finalize that, two teams that are usually very good at the mantra of the NFL being a week-to-week game, right? Of being able to separate last week's performance and coming out with a better or better or dominant performance the following week, right? You know what I mean? Both of those teams are really good at being able, and most of these teams left around are, right? That's why they're still playing. They're able to separate the bad performances and say, hey, that was last week. Let's move on to this week.
Yeah, and that's why one's 12-4 and one's 13-3, right? So, yep. Similar to us.
Absolutely.
So it should be a great game. And the next one I think could be a great one too. Cowboys, Niners, and San Fran. That's 6:30 start Sunday. San Fran -4.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Give me the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys over the Niners.
Oh, I think the Cowboys win it outright.
Yeah, I think
it's Eagles-Dallas NFC title game.
Listen, the NFL wants it. The NFL's going to get what they want. All right? God damn it. Roger sees them ratings. Come on now.
I think they win. I think they win.
Yeah, I do think they win too. I really do.
Man, I don't know how. I think they win though.
Oh, jeez.
I'll go Niners win, but Dallas covers.
That defense is good in Dallas. Being a realist, that defense is pretty good.
They're not bad.
No. Nope.
They're not bad. And then it's not like they're traveling like crazy far to the West Coast, but it's still a hike. But it's not like a hike if you're coming from like full East Coast travel across, right?
Yeah, I got Dallas. Dallas wins.
I got the 49ers winning this game and covering.
Oh, geez.
I think that defense is going to be too much. There's going to be I think that defense is going to force Dak to force a couple turnovers with Dak and Christian McCaffrey, man.
Well, what's the time for the other one to turn it over a little bit too, right? Like when's that?
When's Brock? When's Brock going to have his game, right?
That's
Okay, Mr. Irrelevant game. Here
we both watched him in college. Like there has to be the game coming. Like he's not the next great QB in the National Football League. Right. Can he be a very good one?
Dude. Come
on. Can he be a very good one? But that game's got to come. And if it doesn't come this week, it's got to come the following.
He played Iowa State. I mean, it's coming soon. You know,
we all watched it.
Big 12, no defense. It's coming soon.
I'm not going to say that
he wasn't great there with no defense in the Big 12.
No.
I'm not going to say that Purdy doesn't have to do much because obviously to beat the Cowboys offense, you're going to have to score points. I just think this is the biggest difference I think it's even bigger of a difference over the defense compared to Tampa Bay. They can actually run the football.
I mean, they can, but he has to do a lot. I think that's it. I don't think that's a proper statement with him. If you really watch him, he tries to fit he's a little bit of a gunslinger already. He loves fitting shit in tight windows. He has no care. He thinks he can make every throw, which is what you need, obviously, to play at this level, right? Like you gotta believe in your arm talent, etc. Like if you watch him, he's not like the game manager type. Like they're letting him go. Like that's what's crazy about it. Like he's not like, they can run the ball, they have a great defense, but he's doing great things too. And that's where I think like, where's the 2-pick game come in? Like everybody has them. Like when are you gonna have one? Like I'm watching quarterbacks better than you turn the ball over 4 times. like when are you gonna turn? When are you gonna do that?
And it looked that way early on in that game on this last week.
Yeah,
but you gave the benefit of the doubt because of the weather, right? You said, all right, slick ball, weather. We'll give the kid a benefit of the doubt, especially in the second half. You know, they pulled away. But I'm with you, Tom. I think the defense and the way Dan Quinn uses Micah Parsons just to get after the quarterback a lot of the time. And then and the
He's
rest
done a good job of extending too, Greg.
Yeah,
He has done a good job of that as well.
I'm thinking this is where that game comes in, right? We know Trayvon Diggs loves to make a big play. He also loves to get burnt, but he's due for a big play, and I think it comes this week. I do. I think the Cowboys win.
Yeah, I hate to say it too. I don't like saying it, and I'm not trying to crown. I'm not trying to crown
too.
Dallas. I just think this is the week where that front can get to you. You don't run the football as well as you have, right? They do a pretty good job of stuffing the run, Dallas too. So, and they're playing with some confidence. This could be the week where, I mean, it's like, okay, San Fran's defense is loaded, right? But if you're on the field a lot, etc., you start to get worn down, and their secondary isn't like elite, right? Their secondary is good, but not elite, right? And I think Dallas is the type of team that, again, like us, because they can run the football, can give some problems to San Fran. Like you saw with Seattle, right? They were able to run it. They went a lot of man-up coverage, right, to try to stop the run. And I don't think you can do that against Dallas. Like, I don't think you can load the box and expect to beat us or Dallas. So that's where San Fran, I think they're one-on-one, type stuff that they play a lot of because they trust their front to get home. I don't know if it plays against Dallas like that, like it would against Seattle. And Seattle still ran the football semi-well in the first half against them. If Dallas can run the football, because then you're on the field. It's like us, right? Like if the Giants pound, but Dallas has a lot more talent. It's probably the best team San Fran's played since Brock Purdy has started. Probably the best team they played.
This goes to this point I'm about to make helps anybody who is picking Dallas. So I'm looking at how they rank as far as scoring defenses, both the San Francisco 49ers and obviously Dallas. So all season, San Francisco was ranked number 1, just under 17 points per game they allow. Dallas as a season was 5th, allowing just under 20. But the last 3 games, San Francisco is allowing almost 7 points more, so a touchdown more per game in their last 3 games. Dallas's scoring defense is almost 2 points lower than their season average. So if you're just going based off of trends, now I'd have to look back. Like, did the 49ers not really play for much that final week? I feel like they did. Like, I feel like they didn't lock up like their exact seeding. So it's not like they had just like a gimme game in there. Dallas's defense is trending in the right direction as opposed to the Niners, who they're giving a full touchdown more per game, going against a really, really powerful, and multi-layered Dallas Cowboys offense. So that kind of goes to the Dallas bettors out there.
Yeah, I think their defense is really good. I don't think they're like 85 Bears good. I think they're extremely good. They have layers to them. But I don't also think that they face the most electric and explosive offenses either. Not like all year, but like if you look at their division, right? It's not like loaded up like maybe expected, right? Not expected, but people probably expect Arizona to be better, right? They weren't. So I mean, they really haven't shut down like that Buffalo offense, right? Or a Kansas City offense where you're like, okay. They're not saying Dallas is there, but Dallas is pretty close to that type of offense when they're going. And it's a tough test. It's a tough test for both football teams because can Dallas hang with all the skill position players that San Fran had to bring to the table? So it's a combo problem for both teams. I hate to say it. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm almost feeling like a lock for this week. Like it's one of my locks that Dallas wins this game outright. I think everybody just I think it comes to a point where Cinderella, clock's going to strike midnight on Purdy, and I don't think he gets to the NFC title game. I just don't think he gets that far before the shoe drops.
I'll give you the flip side also. I gave you the defense, and I'll give you the offense on what they ranked all year, and obviously the last 3 games, how they're trending. So all year, wow, it's by 0.4 points, so it's basically the same thing. Dallas was 4 in total points scoring offense, and San Francisco was 5. Now the last 3 games, so they both averaged just over 27 points per game scoring. The last 3 games for Dallas, they averaged just over 21 points per game. So about 6 points less than their season average. The last 3 games for San Francisco, they've gone from a 27.3 season average to a 38.7, which is a league leader of those last 3 games. The only thing close to that 38.7 the last 3 games was Buffalo with a 34.7.
And I hate to say this, right? And I'm going to say it, though. That's cute in terms of them. Like, who the fuck did they just play in their last 3? Not a shot at you. It's a shot at them. They didn't play nobody. I know one Seattle. Seattle's defense is atrocious. Atrocious. And anybody out there that thinks it's good right now is delusional. They have some young players, right? But they're bad. They've been bad all year, right? And I think that's the reason they made the playoffs is because the NFC stunk the bottom half of it, right? And the fact that like their passing game and their offense, their rushing game was more the reason they were able to sneak their way in, right? So who did San Fran play? Seattle's won.
Seattle, Arizona, and the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders.
Denver, I think, was right before that, right?
Raiders is the only one to give him. How many did they score versus the Raiders?
Oh, like
that was a shootout. That was a
shootout with
that was like a 45-38 game or something like that.
Where was that at?
It was in Las Vegas.
It was in
that
Vegas,
was Garrett Stidham's first start.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, listen, I don't want to take anything away from the Niners when I'm saying this because they are very explosive. So you still got to score points, right? So it's not like a total jab. It's just I want to see you do that then against the top 5 to 8 defense. If Brock Purdy does it again and we win, listen, I'm gonna go buy a couple more dogs because now I'm a little nervous, right? Yeah. I just don't think he's got another one in him. And the great thing, right? You weren't wrong about them running the football. The only thing I was saying that I was just saying he's got no problem winning games with his arm too.
Oh, he can do it.
Thing.
Oh yeah, he can do it.
He plays like he's been playing for 2 or 3 years.
Oh no, he's not.
When does it come crashing down? Because it does for every quarterback. Like even the great Patrick Mahomes has games where was that Pat?
Yeah.
Was that Pat today?
This isn't a Jimmy G situation where if again and Chrome, we would argue with Chucks and some people on Birds of a Feather, back in the day, where like Jimmy G's best playoff games are games where he passes the football 7 to 9 times. Like that's I'm sorry, like
that's why they lost, because that's what Kyle Shanahan wanted his best passing games to go. If he let Jimmy loose with this talent, which he never did, he never let Jimmy like loose. If he lets Jimmy loose as the pro Jimmy is with this talent, I mean they're just as good. I think they're just as good. I don't think I think you're more scared because you have a pro coming in, right? You have like, oh man, like you don't have the rookie, right, Mr. Irrelevant pick coming in. That's the saving grace when San Fran comes to town down the road, right? That's the saving grace we have. Like, because if not, we're like, oh fuck, we're like, oh shit, like what do we have to say that we're better than that, right? At least a quarterback we can say, well, our quarterback's more seasoned, even though he's not even that seasoned, compared to a rookie who played at Iowa State. There's got to be a point that this dude comes in and throws the ball away. Did you see some of the passes he's gotten away with? He's threaded some needles.
His timing sucked in the first half. He got away with it.
He got away with some stuff. You ain't getting away with
that. He should have had honestly. And again, I'm not taking anything away from the Niners. They won going away, and they made second half adjustments. All that BS. Like that, he should have had a Trevor Lawrence first half. Yeah, there were 3 balls that should have easily been picked.
And 2, I think, hit guys in hands.
Exactly.
I hate to say it because I hate Cowboys fans, but rejoice. You can start rejoicing in Dallas because this is a lock. Eagles are a lock. I'll see you guys next week. That's it.
Oh man,
Ralph, what's your?
And by the way, if we're losing at halftime, God forbid, Ralph, this week, everybody's going to exit right through the little bay doors that open up in the basement. Enjoy your ride home. Hope you can get home in 15 to 20 minutes.
Can I take home? Can I take
You're
home
out of
Baggio?
here.
Gentlemen.
Out of here. Right, we'll give you a to-go cart. You know what I mean? We'll line you up with a to-go, man. We're not like jerk-offs. We're just saying we got to switch this up.
I don't care if I'll eat the Baggios in the car. I'll eat the Baggios.
Yeah, you can sit in your fucking car and listen to Raw. I care. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Understand.
Gentlemen, I got to go. My iPad's got 2%, so go Birds.
Love you, Dad. Yo.
Talk to you later.
Saturday? Hold the fucking phone. I see you Saturday?
I have to go to
Florida.
Florida.
You're the whole one who wanted this. You're a problem. Mr. Frick. Another trip to
You're
Disney?
a problem. I'll come over and watch everything. Yeah, I had to take my vacation week this week,
So that's where you go playoff time.
I'm gonna watch the game.
It's nice weather.
It's not that nice down there right now.
It's a little on the chilly side.
Greg, shut
In the mornings, it was
No,
45 when we teed off the other
45?
day. It was
45
45 when we teed off yesterday.
Greg, have you gone? Greg,
Ryan, you stop. You don't start agreeing with Chrome. Like, that's not good.
I'm not agreeing with Chrome. I'm anti-Greg. I'm not agreeing with Chrome. I'm anti-Greg.
Well, you got to be anti-both because you've been anti-both. You got to say anti-both.
All right, I'm anti-both. Greg,
No, but it is better
Greg,
weather.
have you golfed in the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, every week.
All right. So I want you to kindly shut the hell up. I want you to kindly shut the hell up. Respect,
Gentlemen, love you guys.
Stay from.
Jake
Love you,
Romer.
Cromer.
Go Birds.
So go Birds. A lot of big games this weekend. So
Ralphie, give us a lock, so I can
A
avoid
lock?
it. Yeah, so I can avoid it.
come with me, Ralphie. There's two of them.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah. I'm hopping on the boat with Tommy. Cowboys are winning, dude. I'm sorry, man. Something's got to give with San Fran and Brock. Brock's got to stop. All right, mystery irrelevant. That defense is pretty good over there in Dallas. I'll give that a lock as well. Dallas wins. We play him
Well,
at the
that's
link for the NFC
expected,
Championship
Marcus.
game.
Marcus, I don't know if that's breaking news, Marcus. That's just like
Oh, he's hurt. He's always hurt.
he tapped out in a playoff game. He's like, yeah, I'm done. Literally on the broadcast, they said, "Is he tapping out?" That's not great.
Doesn't the rookie play anyway, or the rookie play over there anyway?
They swap it. They do like a freaking rotation on their.
He's
offensive
always
line.
hurt.
Frank Locke.
I'm gonna go back to the Dallas game. Give me Dallas wins, and give me a Brock Purdy. More than 1.5 interceptions.
Oh,
Damn. So he throws two?
I think he throws two. I think
he
this is going to
throws
be
two,
the comeback to earth.
Bro, there
Brock
has
Purdy.
like, and it sucks to sit here and be like when is this gonna stop, right? Because this dude's on a roll, right? But like it's the
on a
Cowboys,
roll.
and it sucks to say
Right.
like it's got to be against the Cowboys. Like it couldn't be against anybody else, you know. It had to
And
be
anybody
against
else
the
I'm picking,
Cowboys.
Ralph, too.
No,
Anybody. I want to make it clear
And I
to the
have
people.
to sit here and be real and be like, yeah, you know what? The Cowboys defense pretty good, and Dak's pretty good. Damn it, sucks,
Yeah.
man. But it is what it
But-
is. It
But
is
here's
what it
the
is.
other thing too:
Yeah,
no
anybody
rookie
wanna pull the
quarterbacks in the
take.
Super Bowl. So that's where I'm going with that. It's like I'm still sticking by it. No rookie quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. I don't think Brock Purdy's even the guy to do it. Because and let's just say they somehow, some way make it to the Super Bowl, the Niners, with Brock Purdy under center. He's
What do you do with Trey
he's
Lance?
yeah.
Ralphie, he will be a future Tennessee Titan regardless.
It'll be a.
I finished my
quarterback
quarterback list this
nightmare.
morning. I'm very
I'm sure
proud.
Vrabel's chomping at the bit to get another guy who can't
He-
throw and can run.
He's not, but the 49ers GM who they just hired is.
Oh,
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they?
He might not. He might not. I don't. I would think that. They're the way that the organization's run, that they would bring in somebody who sees the same way Vrabel does. But who knows?
And Derek
Who knows?
Hey, their old GM got rid of AJ Brown, so they're capable of that over there.
Yeah.
And Mr. Vrabel did not see that going very well. We saw his reaction on draft night.
Yeah.
Greg.
Can't believe someone hasn't said this one yet. Boston's got anytime touchdown.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not going to keep going back to that well.
You see Wick Martindale talking?
No.
Yeah, he's like, he's not a giant killer just because he scored a touchdown on us.
Yeah. I mean, he did say I haven't been here. I just got here. Like, I don't know. He's like, he scored a touchdown versus this year. I don't know if he's that necessarily a killer. I wasn't here before. So he sort of just poo-pooed it.
Yeah.
But, typical coach answer. I wasn't here before, so I don't know. Nothing to do with us. Okay.
I'm in a predicament because I don't want to just be like, Kansas City lock, right? I feel like that's like not a gimme, but I'm confident in that one.
Well, what are you locking? You're locking the
I think
line,
it's minus
right?
600. So yeah, that is a gimme.
Yeah, you would have to lock the 8.5.
Yeah, and I just feel like that's like, that's not like bold. You know what I mean?
No, there's not much left to be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I don't trust the Bengals or the Bills. I don't. I don't lock anything. I don't lock scores with our games. I don't do it. And I'm not – I think the Niners are going to win, but I'm not locking Brock Purdy. I'm not doing that. So I'll just go Chiefs. Go Chiefs for Andy.
8.5.
Yeah.
No, it's feasible. I mean, I think me and Chrome are around the same spot. Like 13, does it stay there, or do they get a garbage time touchdown? Like if it's close early, if it gets to 10-0 Chiefs, the game's over. Like they don't have that other. They're not going to do that 2 weeks in a row when they're playing above their head, where they're going to come back against a team like that. They gotta score with them. They got to be able to score with them. Because that motherfucker's going to score points. That's what he does. If you're just joining us, before we head out of here, make sure you hit the damn like and subscribe. Stay with us for a while. All right, turn your alerts on. Come to all live shows. We got to do the member wheel. If you're not a member, like I said, you want to win jerseys. Today's $50 Venmo, Cash App, whatever you have. It's $50 to the winner today. All right, we got a lot of stuff coming in, a lot of cool merchandise. We'll have A2D gear that we're giving away. We'll be doing ticket giveaways. Everything you can think of. You become a member right in our YouTube description for $9.99 a month. You jump in on giveaways. And, I would like at some point down the road to have a live member call-in show. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Rome wasn't built in a day. Either was A2D. You know what I mean? So, Ralph, I would love for you to dabble with the wheel when you get a minute. And look at us, man. Wow, it's 12:42. And just because how late I get done work this time of year, it literally feels like it's like 11, maybe 10:30. You know what I mean? Maybe 10:30. Crazy, bro. Greg, you remember.
Yeah.
You're getting home at 10:30, 10 o'clock. All right, $50. Venmo, Cash App, whatever app you got, PayPal. And
now, are we doing 2 spins or are we doing 1?
I don't want to get into technical details.
We'll do one. We'll do one.
We'll do one spin. Yeah. One spin of the wheel. Who's the winner? And you become an A2D member right in the description. The link's right there. $9.99 a month. You get on our wheel, baby. Get on our wheel, and we can see your comments easier. So it's a win-win. And you win shit. $50. Who's going to be the one? Who's going to be? Wayne Miller again.
Wayne. I feel like he wins every week.
This dude wins every day.
And I'll tell you right now, Wayne does not have any social media money platforms or whatever they are.
Okay, so I don't know what I'll do for Wayne. I'll do something for Wayne.
He's got Zelle. Maybe get Zelle him.
Or maybe we can send a passenger pigeon for him. Get a little pigeon.
I just know I tried because that was one of the options.
I'll take care. I'll take care of Wayne. Get the wheel to fuck back up here. All right. If he doesn't have this, then I can't send him money, so I gotta do something else for him.
What the hell is Zelle?
And I'm not like
Venmo.
Yeah, I'm not writing
a check
and mailing it.
So you just go through the bank account.
Yeah, bring the wheel back up.
Spinning again?
Yeah, we're gonna bring it back. I'll take care of Wayne. Wayne will win something. All right. I don't like this.
It's back to Wayne.
Stop. Joseph Tice. All right, Joe.
Former center of the Celtics?
Joe wins.
Oh, that's Daniel Tice. That's Daniel.
It's his brother.
Joseph wins $50, and I'll take care of getting Wayne something of a $50 value. So 2 winners tonight, per se, because Wayne doesn't want to have these kind of services. So appreciate you, Wayne. Not only have you won too much, you don't have these services. So great show. Looking forward to Saturday night.
Oh yes.
Sixers West Coast trip. 3-0 to start.
Thanks for being the Clippers. Thank you guys.
Yep, tomorrow night, or they're back at it. And I don't forget who they play tomorrow night, but
Kings.
And
then the Blazers, and then they're back home.
And then they're back home. So enjoy the West Coast trip if you're a junkie like me.
And I might be 5-0.
Could be.
Oh, they lost.
Jesus.
Could be. Every Wednesday, we're brought to you by our good friends over at FanUp, and FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. Win great prizes. Head them today. Use our promo code A2D. You get $50 right at sign up, and you can download FanUp right on the Apple Store. As always, we had Heel Chrome tonight. We have Noe Eaton, but his prediction was 27-13 Eagles.
Oh.
I believe it. Hold on, let me confirm that.
That's like somewhat responsible of Noah. I'm impressed.
Sorry, 27-23 Eagles. So he's got a little bit of a dogfight here. That was his score prediction. No eating. Frank Vespi, Greg Milakovic, Ralph Del Vecchio, Ryan Brodo. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, we love you. Go Birds. Big one. No excuses, but a dub. Let's go find a way. Give us another week. Actually, like we said, give us 2. Give us 2 weeks and then a bye week before the Super Bowl. So essentially 4.